we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, hey, we're still talking about Charlie. Charlie ain't going nowhere. I'm seeing these videos on the interwebs. Stop talking about Charlie. Well, how about this? If you stop weighing 800 pounds, then maybe at that point, I will stop talking about Charlie. That'd be a good trade-off. But we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Ice Cube's tour bus get firebombed in Portland, Oregon by Antifa thugs. Was he targeted because they thought it said ICE, like as in Immigration Customs Enforcement, or did they target Ice Cube because they don't like him? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, UK digital ID. Do you guys want that? Is that something you guys want in your lives? Do you want to have a digital ID in your phone that may be able to regulate your behavior, may be able to track you, kind of like China's system? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, there's an 11-year-old boy who was expelled from his school in Lansing, Michigan because he disarmed a classmate and maybe he stopped the school shooting. Part of that zero tolerance policy, which is kind of crazy. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Plus, we got a bunch of ICE quote unquote protests, really riots from these same crazy violent people. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. There is quite a bit happening. Ice Cube. I can't believe what's going on with Ice Cube. So I'm going to ask y'all a question. Do y'all think that Ice Cube's tour bus got firebombed in Portland? Was it a firebomb? Was it just a mistake, a random fire? Cube says that it was set on fire. The question is, who did it and why? Did they think that it was an ICE, as in Immigration Customs Enforcement? Did they think it was that? Or did they think that it was Ice Cube's vehicle and they don't like Cube because of his policy? See, this is, or his politics, his opinion. This right here is why Charlie should be a warning to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. If we are now attacking people because of their opinions and political beliefs, that can happen to anyone, to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, left, right, whatever. I'm seeing some of the dumbest texts about Charlie talking about, oh, white man this, white man that. You think color got something to do with it? Because listen, how many black people got killed by Antifa over there in, what was that, Freata, Washington, Portland, Oregon? Remember Chaz Chop? Remember that? Where it was not one but two black teenagers that were killed, a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old, by the largely 95% white Antifa. Remember that? Oh, that seems to get memory hold. I never hear them brought up. No one cares about that at all. All they want to talk about is January 6th. Something happened years ago. Okay, we get consistent crime and violence from the Antifa crowd all the time. The most recent incident that I can think of was probably Ice Cube's tour bus getting firebombed in Portland. You see what I'm saying? They do stuff all the time. It's a certain kind of person that joins. There's an issue with crime in the country. You got black neighborhoods that got a lot of violence. You got the illegal aliens with the violence. But the issue that we need to tackle is the organization of a new gang. Because you had Bloods, Crips, whatever. You had gangs. And that is continuously a problem, because when you have gangs of these criminals who get together, or the criminals who recruit young people, 12, 13 years old, to be part of the gang, it perpetuates violence. It perpetuates the crime. It perpetuates a dangerous environment in which to live. Same thing with the Antifa. They need to be treated the same way that the gangs get treated in the cities, because it's no difference. And it's actually probably worse because they're well funded. These gangs are not really funded. unless you count the drugs that are being brought in. But Antifa, they get direct monies. These people are being paid. And they go all over the country. They have their local chapters and they travel the country getting paid. And there's countless examples, countless pieces of evidence of them being paid. That is a serious problem, because what you have is, just like Nazi Germany, they'll say on the left that the right are the Nazis, that the conservatives, we are the Nazis. But they do the exact same thing the Nazis did. Okay, they do the exact same thing. Every day I open my phone and go on the internets, I see Jasmine Crockett speaking somewhere else. Jasmine Crockett is a House rep, but she doesn't do any kind of lawmaking. Her job is to be Joseph Goebbels. Again, Jasmine Crockett does not do any lawmaking, although she is a House rep, a lawmaker. She is the Democratic Party's Joseph Goebbels. She goes out there and spreads misinformation and propaganda. That's her role. They do the exact same thing that they did while they call us the Nazis. They're all about trying to track you, trying to control you. They hate the Jews. I mean, like, everything that they do, it's like they copied and pasted from the Nazi Party. It's like I'm seeing the Nazi Party happening again with the Democratic Party. But we're the ones being called racist, hateful, everything else, when we can see video after video after video of the exact opposite being true. So I'm glad I'm on the side of the right, literally the right side, and the right side politically. I'm glad I'm over here rather than the other side, because I've said it many times before. It's good on the right mostly. I'm going to say this because somebody's going to say, not all of us are good. Good people tend to gravitate toward the right. Put it to you that way. While those who are bad tend to gravitate toward the left, because you are able to get away with evil over on the left, and it's not really your problem. Hey, as long as you say you're a leftist, you could do whatever you want. You want to expose yourself in front of whoever, whenever, wherever, then be a leftist. It's okay. Just say you're transgender. You could do whatever you want to do. You want to be a man and go into a woman's bathroom, a woman's locker room, and say you're transgender. You could look like Luigi the plumber in the face, the whole outfit and everything, and it's fine if you say that you're transgender. People talking about, oh, what they think they're women. You're not. Whatever you think you are, you're not. Okay, that's just not the reality in which we live. But shout out to you guys who live in reality and you don't believe in whatever they want you guys to believe in. Okay, and the digital ID thing. Listen, I don't want too much of the tracking, like the vaccine passport. I was hearing about that during COVID, but I never even had the inclination to ever put that on my phone. Was that even over here in the USA? I have no idea. I didn't pay that any attention. There was no way, first of all, there was no way I was getting that vaccine from the beginning. I don't care who said it was safe. I don't care. Listen, if Jesus Christ himself came down from the sky and said, hey, ABL, go ahead and take that. It'd be good for you. I'm gonna have some questions. I'd be like, look, boss, honestly, you came down from the sky and you're here to save us. I get it. I understand. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But I'm not quite sure about that vaccine. That's how I look at it. I was never going to get the vaccine. I don't care who said it was safe. Trump, Obama, Hillary Clinton, you could dig up Stevie Wonder. He ain't dead. Anyway, I know what I'm talking about. Whoever you want, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get it. Vaccine passport, all this stuff, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. To those who actually got it, I was surprised during C-19, the amount of people who got the vax who didn't have to. Because it's one thing if you back into a corner, you got kids and you got to keep your job. That's one thing. You were forced. You were coerced. You were a victim of a crime at that point, in my humble opinion. If your job forced you to get it and you have no other way out, you are a victim of the crime. But to those who didn't have to do it and they just did it just because, I'm like, I ran into a guy, I ain't gonna say his name. Y'all not gonna know him. He's not somebody that's like a streamer. Somebody I know in my life. I ran into him. He was like, yeah, man, had to go ahead and get vaxxed up. And my face, sometimes I can't hide it. I didn't want to say anything because this is a guy's a good guy. Nicest guy in the world. But when he said that, I just, the level of disgust that entered my body, it was like you could just, I could actually take out the disgust from my chest and show it to you. Okay. And if you saw it, you'd be disgusted too. That's how I felt. That's how I felt when he told me that. I'm like, I almost said, for real, I almost said ill. But I kept my mouth shut because I'm trying to be the good guy here. Okay. I don't want to hurt my feelings. And not that much, but I wanted to say something right there. And I hope whoever got the vax is doing well. I hope. And I hope if you got the vax and you were injured, it was a lesson. Sometimes you got to learn hard lessons, unfortunately. Don't do it again. And they're going to get on TV and say, okay, we got the Mars super monster flu. It's going to kill everybody. Take this random shot from Johnson & Johnson. Okay, am I watching the advertisement here? Like, what is this? Am I watching the ad? Is it a psyop? What's really going on? Like some of these cleverly disguised social media ads. It'd be a conflict. Hey, what's going on with this conflict? And then somewhere in it, it'd be an ad for a product related to the conflict. I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. Stealth marketing. Don't be a victim of stealth marketing and don't be a guinea pig for Big Pharma. Don't do it. I mean, listen, if you're going to be a guinea pig for Big Pharma, sign up for a medical trial and have them pay you for it. Get $20,000, $100,000 or whatever they paying. Get that money if you're going to be a guinea pig. Don't be a guinea pig on GP like, hey, yeah, give me that brand new shot and let's see what happens. Let's roll the dice for free. I think not. If I'm going to roll the dice with my health, I want to be compensated up front. I ain't trying to go in the back end and try to sue and end up not getting no money, end up being in debt, trying to pay a lawyer. I'm good. I am good. So, okay, Jackie says my husband had to, he's okay. Hey, shout out to your husband. You got a birthday in the crowd. Happy birthday. Who's that? Jason. Happy birthday, Jason. Shout out to you. Okay. A great time of the year to be born, right around the end of September. Okay. That the best time of the year to be born. If you're born during a different time of the year, shout out to you as well, but it ain't nothing like us at the end of September. The 21st through the 30th, we're the best. Absolutely. Okay. Bobby Snaps, I'm not going to say what you said because that's not very nice, what you describe people as, but Barack Obama is not black. Barack Obama is, first of all, like, what is black? In my opinion, black means Black American of overwhelming majority black DNA. I would say, you know what? If you're going to just be kind of picky, because people are picky with their ethnicity and race. If you are mixed black and white, you're never considered to be white. You're always considered to be black. Why not white? If you're going to pick one race over the other, when someone is evenly mixed black and white, like a Barack Obama, why wouldn't it be white? Why is it default to black? That goes back to the Jim Crow one drop rule. Yeah, one drop of black in you, you're black. That's what that comes from, if you guys didn't know. And I think that we're past Jim Crow. So now we could say biracial. That's cool. And then I think that being black in the USA, here's my definition. I know it's just kind of my opinion and random, but hear me out. 75% African DNA, and you got two parents born in America. That would be black. If you came here recently, you have a different delineation. When I hear black, I'm thinking about Black American, because in other parts of the world, you're not necessarily seen as black. You're kind of seen as your ethnicity, your nationality. So let's say, for example, here's an example. I'll give it to you and then it makes sense. Let's say I go to Japan, right? I'm in the airport talking like this. They know automatically I'm not African, which is a whole different story. I'm not going to behave like the African. I'm not saying they're going to behave poorly. The point is, I'm different than them. I think black in the USA refers to Black American. There are others who are black or African ancestry, but they're not the same as us. And it's okay. It's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And in the case of Barack Obama, you're mixed literally with African and white American. How does that equal black? I don't know. But race is a funny topic, really. Humans are funny with how we do it. I think there are differences, But once you start to get into a lot of the intermingling, it gets kind of confusing, because when I see somebody that comes from Southeast Asia, and then I see somebody that comes from Mexico, I'm seeing the same people. Although I know it's not, but I can't tell. I can't tell. The Mongols, all them people, they look the exact same as Mexicans. But then again, that's not really them, because it's like a mixture. So were the Mongols a mixture? How did that really work? I don't really know. But to me, they look like the exact same people. So how are they a different race? Who knows? It's a gray. That's right, Tom. It's a gray zone. It is a gray zone. So I don't know, man. Really, I think the most important thing is where you're from, where you grew up, what's your nationality. That's the most important thing, because a white person in the USA is not the same thing as a white person in Poland or Russia or somewhere like that. Not at all. Even in Europe, a white person from UK is not the same as a white Polish person. It's to the point where when the Polish go to UK, it's a problem, and they have conflicts because of the behavior, the language, the cultural. It's a clash. All right. Now I'm seeing I saw something about Nick Fuentes a couple of times. I don't like being bullied into a interview with people, and I don't interview anybody on my channel. All I do as far as collaborations is go to a podcast that has a following and that I like. So I'm not quite sure if he has a podcast. Streaming in Your Mom's Basement is not a podcast. I'm talking about a podcast like a Joe Rogan, where you bring on guests, and you're known for bringing on guests, and you got a format. Tim Pool, that's a prime example. That's a podcast, okay? You got a place, you bringing on a new guest every night, roundtable discussions, talking about current events. That's a podcast. Or I've done one-on-one podcasts, but it's a podcast setup, and you got something going, and you got guests and topics. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to interview you on my channel unless you call into the show. So if anybody wants to talk to me, call in. You know, I got a number. We'll talk about it later. Okay, 706-406-3287. Okay, you call that number later, and you can talk on the phone about whatever you want. But that's pretty much how that's going to go. And I'm not really a fan of a guy like Nick Fuentes. I feel like Nick Fuentes is like, he speaks for the loser white boys out there. And that's not really that's not really what I'm trying to do. I would never watch that kind of content, because that's not who I am. So I'm not really a fan, but some people like him. It's just not for me. And if I offended you by that comment, I'm sorry, but I just call it how I see it. You know, oh, you're racist. Nah, it ain't about race. Ask me about any content creator, and I'll tell you what I think about them, honestly. Okay, why don't I call us? Hans, are you being serious, Hans Ketchup? Why don't I call you? So, okay, what I'm going to do, be like, hey, you guys, send me your number, and I'm going to call you on the phone. Like, how are we going to do that? I'm going to call you live on the show. How are we going to do that? I'm not really sure. All right, hold on. Atomic Tabasco says, I thought his channel got taken so much for YouTube not banning Alex Jones too. That's a great point you raised there, Atomic Tabasco. Let me tell you what's going on with that. Let me tell you what's happening with that. People are talking about YouTube is engaging in censorship because they first said they're going to bring back some accounts that were removed during COVID, I believe, because they were forced to do that because of the government intervention. That's not the same thing as what happened to Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes. You see, the problem with Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes is that they are not beneficial to YouTube financially. That's the problem. It's not about trying to censor them. It's about money, period. Because there's so many people that are going to protest. There's so many problems that are going to come as a result. Okay, so what's going to happen eventually is they're going to get a school shooter or a potential school shooter, and he's going to say that X, Y, and Z person was really my go-to content creator. It's going to be already see what's going to happen. So they're looking at it from a financial point of view. It's not about censorship. They're looking at it from, we're not trying to lose money. And I get it, because they're a company trying to make money. They got to be able to please everybody. They got to please us as a content creator, because we are the ones who provide the value to watch the platform. They got to please the advertisers, because they're the ones who fund everything. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. And then they have to be able to please the general audience watching. So they got to be able to please everybody, and it can be very difficult. So their decision from a business point of view is, let's not allow Nick Fuentes or Alex Jones. That's my humble opinion, and I believe that I'm right. All right. So yeah, shout out to you guys. And again, if anybody wants to talk to, if you want to talk to me, you could call me later on in the show. Is it total BS, Kevin? Well, I mean, listen, once you get to run a business, once you get to really be in charge of people's livelihoods, when you got thousands of jobs on the line and stuff like this, you have to make those hard decisions that may offend some people, but ultimately it don't matter because they're not going to be the ones who pay the bills every day. They're not going to be the ones who get the lights on. These not going to be the guys that make a difference financially. They got to worry about the money. That's all that it is. That is it. That is all. So yeah, shout out to everybody that was reinstated on the YouTubes after the whole Google admission. But some of y'all not going to be able to get back on, and you got to understand. And I'm not even really mad about it. It's okay. Because I'd rather those channels not be back on if it means all of us still have a platform in which we can talk to the public. If they're allowed back on, they still not have a platform because they're going to bring down the whole platform with them. You see what I'm saying? They're going to bring everybody down, including themselves. So it's kind of pointless. You just preventing something from happening that has no reason to happen. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Lothair is funny. Lothair says Nick is a punk. ABL will beat him in a debate. I ain't even really trying to go back and forth with 27-year-old white boys in their mama's house, man. That's not really my thing, man. That's like, to me, it's like trying to battle a child. You know, it's like trying to battle a child. So I'm not really into that. And plus, I'm not really into interviewing anybody on my channel, period. It don't matter who they are. It's just not really my thing. If you got a podcast, I go on there all day long. A podcast that has numbers with guests, let's do it. All day long. All right, I'm going to read some of these comments, and then I'm going to keep on rocking and rolling. All right. Let me see now. Glenn Beck, what about Glenn Beck? Was he kicked off as well? Shout out to Glenn Beck. Shout out to The Blaze and all that good stuff. Jesse Lee Peterson. He's funny. I put it to you that way. He's funny. Jesse Lee Peterson is funny. I want to say something, but I don't want to say it. I want to say something, but I don't want to say it. And if you know, you know. I'll leave it at that. But he's a funny character. Shout out Jesse Lee Peterson. All right. O'Shea. Shout out O'Shea. Hey, O'Shea, that's my guy. Y'all know O'Shea, my guy. I don't see your comment anymore. I saw that, Mr. Rich. That's my guy. Good dude. Good dude over there with his channel. We used to have a lot of good times on the Sunday Rumbles. A lot of us were created from that. Okay. Jack says, am I a Christian, or would you prefer a more Christian government? Why or why not? I'm not religious. I respect Christianity, and I abide by a lot of the core tenets of the Bible. I know the Bible very well. I've read everything. I've pretty much read it all. I've explored all religions, all cultures, everything. And what it made me do was to be more spiritual than religious. So I'm not religious, although I respect Christianity. A more Christian government, I'm not quite sure what that means. What does that really mean? You guys spell it out for me, because that could be really, that's kind of a vague thing to ask. A more Christian government, what would that entail? All right, hold on. Carolyn Jones says, do Pod Force 1. She just did Vivek this week. I'm going to check it out. You know, and they bring me on. Yes, indeed. Hold on. Jack says, started watching you in the 8th grade. That's wild. So, Jack, how old are you now? So 8th grade, we were like, what, 13? How old are you now? All right. Okay. I'm reading some of these, and then I'm going to keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Dr. Johann Kraus says, money makes the final decision all day long. That's all it's about. They, you know, censorship, that's one thing. But you're talking about a business, they got to look at the bottom line first and foremost. If it does not make dollars, it does not make sense. Very, very simple. All righty. Shout out to you guys. So you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that help me out tremendously. Also, you guys are my first sponsors for watching the show and keeping the lights on, but shout out to my other sponsors. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description box, or go to patriotpost.us, tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. That letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and for each long form video that I produce, I write an article. And in each article, we got a nice summary, extended summary, more information. We got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, the politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're speaking to me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not, especially if it's not from my email address, which is contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you can't remember, the email address is always on it's always on the contact page if you can't remember. Again, on the contact page of my website, in the description box, is my email address, contact@anthonyblogan.com. Anything else, it's not me. A fishy YouTube comment, a Twitter direct message is not me. Don't get scammed out of your shirt, your socks, and your shoes in 2025. Don't nobody got no time for that. We are trying to get all the monies today. Alrighty. So we got some things going on. Have you seen this video of our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth? This is from 2022, I believe. Okay. It's making the rounds on Twitter. It's saying, oh, our Secretary of War. I guess they're trying to say it in a negative way, but I think this is good. Let's just watch. Then I'm going to give you my 2 cents.
All right, when y'all score, I want to see the gritty. I want to see the gritty? Yeah, I want to see the gritty.
So we got Pete Hegseth doing the gritty. Again, I believe it's 2022 when this video was recorded, but it's being resurfaced. Now, some are saying, oh, why is he out there dancing? He's a clown, whatever. How about he's not 1,000 years old in the wheelchair like all the rest of them? Remember the previous Secretary of Defense? What was that? Lloyd Austin? Was it him? Had prostate cancer and went AWOL to get it treated. Okay, 78 years old. He could be like that, right? But instead, he's like what? Early to mid 40s, vibrant, athletic, still out there doing this thing. I think that's a good thing. And that should be the way we go forward, rather than having people who are ancient. I'm talking about fossils in there. Joe Biden, this guy is as old as dirt itself. Old as dirt itself. And it's okay to be elderly. It's okay to be a senior citizen. It's totally fine. But maybe, just maybe, we should encourage younger people to become interested in politics and to serve their country, whether it be in armed forces or in politics. Just maybe. Okay, so shout out to our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, for not being 98 years old in the wheelchair. All right. Remember when they had Dianne Feinstein? Listen, the left would rather engage in elder abuse than to have a young, vibrant guy with fresh ideas who wants the best for the country. Remember when they had Dianne Feinstein, like when they rolled her back to DC? Okay, I mean, and then shortly after that, she died. Okay, remember this picture right here? Like, if anybody says anything crazy about Pete Hegseth doing the gritty, show them this. Remember that? I was like, man, come on. Really? Come on now. I mean, good grief. let her rest. This lady is at the end. They're using every bit of the little bit of life force she had left. And not too long after this picture, she died. Rest in peace to her. And there goes something else. You know, the left talking about Charlie Kirk. They have all this hate toward Charlie Kirk. Dianne Feinstein was not a political ally of ours on the right at all. But I stood up for her saying it's unfair how they're treating her. This is elder abuse. Please let her rest. Why did they have her out here like that? I was defending her more than they were on their side. They don't respect human life at all. They kill human life in the womb. They will kill you if your opinion is different than theirs. If you're on their side, they'll work you until you die. They take advantage of you. They manipulate you, and they'll lie to you. So they have no moral ground to stand on. And again, R.I.P. Dianne Feinstein. Now, speaking about moral ground, did you guys see this story? This is a funny story. I might do a video about it. This is a really funny story. I might do a video about it. Hold on. So former NFL star Charles Peanut Tillman quits FBI job after 7 years over immigration role. Quote, it didn't sit right. Now, we have an interview with Charles Tillman we're going to watch, but I'm not quite sure that he left the FBI strictly over the immigration piece. I'm not quite sure. Okay. I mean, I'm not quite sure that it was strictly a moral decision. Maybe it was. I don't know this man. I'm just guessing. Okay. I'm just guessing that it might not be that. And I have my opinion about it. But before we get to this one right here, because that's going to be pretty important. Let's hear from Charles Tillman himself about why he left the FBI and the role that immigration got to do with it. Let's watch.
When you're asked to do something that doesn't sit right with you, you're asked to do something that isn't part of your constitution as a man, how do you deal with those situations when the job is so important, but also continuing to be the man you know you are?
Now, let's pause. Okay, this is Ryan Clark, of course, and this is the Pivot Podcast, so I'm giving credit to him. You may have seen Ryan Clark and a few controversies on ESPN, some arguments and whatnot, but different story. I digress. Let's hear from Charles Tillman about why he left the FBI over the whole immigration piece that's happening right now in the federal government.
Is important as well.
So one of the reasons, well, let me start off by saying this. FBI was great to me. I did awesome. I worked with an amazing group of individuals. I think some of the things that they're doing now, I personally didn't agree with.
Like what?
Immigration. Like I didn't agree with how the administration came in and tried to make individuals do things against it didn't sit right. An example being immigration, right? Everybody.
Okay, pause one more time again, because copyright issues. I don't want to get them to try and give me a claim.
Immigration, right? Everybody was told you're gonna go after like the most dangerous criminals. But what you see on TV and what actually was happening is like people weren't going after that, you know? And personally, that didn't sit right with me. That didn't sit right with my conscience. Like, you have the ability to refuse an order. Like, just because they say go arrest this person, like, okay, yeah, you're my superior. Like, I don't have to go do that. You can't make me go do that. You know, I'm not in the military. You gave me an order, but I can totally refuse that order. At the end of the day, I want to be on the right side of history when it's all said and done.
Oh, there go them buzzwords. I feel like he's been coached. I feel like he is being coached as well as Ryan Clark. Right side of history and all this, you know. And then the whole thing about, oh, well, they're not trying to find the criminals. I have videos of the criminals being found. A lot of the actual, like, hardcore criminals that come over here, those stories of those arrests don't get publicized because what the media wants you to do is to think they're just trying to arrest guys that cut grass and ladies that make beds in the hotel room. That's what they want you to think on the mainstream media. Reality is much different. Reality is much, much different. We'll get to that in a minute.
Do I think they're individuals in the organization? Do they like doing some of the stuff that they're doing? Absolutely not. I think they hate it. I think I was in a different position because of my previous career. I made enough money to where I could just walk away and say, you know what, guys, I'm okay. I think I'm good.
Okay, there's more to it, but you get the idea. He's like, you know what? I don't like what's happening with the immigration piece. They're not going after the real criminals, all this, that, and the third. And it was funny how he said something about TV. It's like, all right, all right, on TV, you trying to cite TV, yet you were an FBI agent. Make it make sense. Okay, now let's hear from this. This is going to be funny when you hear this. Okay, shout out to DJ Vlad. I'm not going to show the motion picture video, but I'm gonna give you the audio and the still frame, okay? Because Vlad will do a copyright claim immediately for picture and video together. Now, this is rapper Lil Reese from Chicago, okay? Been involved in street activity and whatnot. He has a story about meeting who we just saw, former FBI agent Charles Tillman, also former Chicago Bears player, and he is from Chicago. All right, let's hear this.
Well, that same year, in 2018, the feds end up raiding your house.
Yeah.
And one of the dudes who actually was part of the raid was a former member of the Chicago Bears,
Yeah.
Charles Tillman,
Yeah,
who ended up becoming an FBI agent.
Yep. I think he just
Did you recognize him? You're like, yo.
Yeah, hell yeah. When they ran in my crib, me and my homies them, like they had put all us in the kitchen. So I'm telling my homie, I'm tapping my homie, I'm like, man, ain't this the football player? It's in the kitchen. I tell him like, what's up? Ain't you Charles Tillman? He was like, what's up? Why? I'm like, what you mean, why? You look like dude. He like, don't worry about it. And I told my homie, like, man, this him.
So, I mean, he got a really, really heavy accent. Y'all can't understand him. He's saying basically they were at their house, trap house, whatever it was. They're at their house in the kitchen, and then it's a raid. And Tillman comes in and he recognizes him. I was like, ain't you Charles Tillman, like the football player, as an FBI agent? And he was like not trying to answer the question, but he recognized him. So let's continue.
This dude, this that nigga who used to play for the Bears. He a federal agent. He a federal agent now. Hell yeah. Police.
Okay. And I guess they ended up taking $100,000 during that raid.
Oh yeah,
that you never got back.
Yeah, they took $100,000 out of my crib. Like $100,000. If it wasn't $100,000, it was like down in 90 something.
Okay. And after taking that money, I guess they didn't even file any charges.
Exactly.
Let's pause right here. Now, me being from an environment around stuff like this, I already know what happened. I don't even got to play it no more. They robbed him because there was no charges filed, but they took the money. And of course, if the feds come take money from you, you're not going to try to fight it because you could have got charged, but they didn't. They just took the money and then that was it. So they robbed him. Now, if you are the kind of person that's going to rob drug dealers, and it's fine, there's no moral complication right there, but somehow arresting illegal aliens, you got some moral epiphany, I'm not really buying it. You know what I think happened? Here's what I think happened. What I think happened is he became recognizable, and he may have been the target for these Antifa types that want to follow you home and do something to you. Okay? Because if Lil Reese, if this guy recognized him from the raid, why wouldn't the Antifa recognize him as well? We've seen ICE agents, feds, all of them be targeted by these people. We just saw the shooting out there in Dallas. So now, you know what? It might be getting a little bit hot. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and back off. It may not be as simple as robbing these drug dealers. You can't do nothing to me. Now, when I'm arresting the illegal aliens, I'm going to have the Antifa on me, and they might follow me home and do something to me or my family because I'm recognizable. Charles Tillman is my size. I'm 6'2", 6'3". He's my size. I'm a very obvious person anywhere I go, all the time. So if you are very obvious, if you're physically very obvious and a celebrity, how are you going to be involved with arresting illegal aliens without being recognized yourself and being put in danger? So that's my theory about why he's not in the force anymore. What do y'all think? Am I, making these crazy connections? Am I the crazy dude in the basement? Hold on. Can I find that meme right quick? Yeah. Am I that guy? Or does it make sense? Do you think that he was robbed by Charles Tillman? Because again, you took $100,000 and you don't charge anybody? Like, what's going on with that? Hold on. I'm not this guy. I promise I'm not this guy. I'm just saying, to me, I think I understand what's happening here. This whole moral high ground thing, I'm not really buying. I'm not really buying at all. So that's that. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, Tylenol. Have you guys been, listen, I know I covered it last time, but this is like a real thing that happened. I don't know what to do with these people. I feel like maybe when Trump speaks, there needs to be a disclaimer that the news gives for their own people, not for us, because we know fantasy, reality, fiction, nonfiction, we're pretty good with that. We don't live in a delusional, crazy world, but some people, some humans in this world do live in a delusional state. So when Trump goes on television and says, hey, don't take Tylenol if you're pregnant, the news media should say, don't try to prove him wrong. It should be something that they got to tell the people, because anything that he says, they'll do the exact opposite. If Trump says, please drink water, they're gonna be thirsty. They never drink water again. They would just stop the water consumption. Okay. Let me just show what I want to show. I want to show Dr. Drew. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show Jenny McCarthy. She's going to kind of explain the whole issue, why you shouldn't take it.
Jenny, what is that correlation between Tylenol shots?
Hold on, let me stop right here before we continue. Otto says ABL, Tillman was he was in the raid. Charges are brought by higher ups, but I think you're correct about his leaving. If there was a raid but no charges and they took money, then why was money not returned? That's called robbery. If there's an FBI raid and money is taken, but there's no charges filed and the money's not returned, you got robbed. You can't do that. You can't just take my property and that's it. If you seize my property, there must be something that comes after that, meaning you charge me or you return it.
Jenny, what is that correlation between Tylenol shots and autism? Let me explain. So many questions. Tylenol basically depletes your glutathione. It lowers it. What is glutathione? Glutathione is your body's natural antioxidant. It's a wonderful thing that helps us detox all the environmental toxins that we're assaulted with every single day. So for instance, you go to the doctor and you say to the doctor, hey, I'm really worried about the adjuvants inside this vaccine, adjuvant being aluminum. The doctor would say, don't worry, your body naturally excretes it. Okay, sure, that's true. But what if your body is low in glutathione? What if that detox methylation system gets kind of jilted, broken, if you will, lowers that it cannot detox the adjuvants, the aluminum in the body? Then it winds up floating around the body, attaching to brain, gut, you name it. So it's really important. We've been saying this for a long time. I wrote about this 15 years ago in my book. Do not give Tylenol before or after a shot. Hopefully that helps, because you want to be able to detox. Now, some people say, hey, I never used Tylenol, but my kid has still got diagnosed with autism. Well, that's the same with me. We didn't use Tylenol, but we naturally have low glutathione, me and Evan, very low, so low that every week we get IV infusions. So if you're unsure, test yourself and your levels of glutathione, because it's so important. It's such an important role in health, you guys. That's why this is an important story and development in our community.
And you know what? This was something that people needed to hear, because people, I think, are living unhealthy and maybe don't even know it. The things they do every day, they don't understand how it contributes to the end of their life, how it contributes to their life not being lived in its fullest, to the fullest potential. They don't really understand what's going on. Like me, I'm a super duper health nut, but I think the majority of people in this country are not. So they do certain things that hurt them, maybe even their children as they're pregnant, and they don't even know. So at a certain point, you need a little bit of education. And when you are educated, it shouldn't be a matter of trying to rebel. It should be a matter of trying to fact check and see if what's being said is true for yourself, rather than just trying to rebel and, you know, orange man bad. All right, I'm gonna get Tylenol poisoning. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Back to what.
All right, here's Dr. Drew.
Back to what you're talking about with these women. I worry. Okay, I don't know this to be true, but I worry our casualness with which we approach a very solemn topic like abortion may be fueling this idea that I can do whatever I want to my body, even if it's to make a political statement, when it's going to harm a fetus. Ugh. That is I worry like hell about that.
It actually makes sense. It actually, you can easily connect those dots. And my body, my choice, my baby, my choice. I mean, the way that they did it with Glee, it broke my heart.
Back to what you're.
I think so. That's why a lot of these women were so cavalier about guzzling Tylenol, because they're so silly. They thought that they could not be hurt themselves. You see what I'm saying? They thought that it's all about their baby. Oh, my baby's going to be safe. Well, actually, no. You're going to harm the baby and yourself. You know, certain people need to just, some of these women need to just be kind of, I don't know, something's got to happen. Okay, now, it's a little bit of cussing right here in this video. It's a little teeny bit. Okay, now, this is going to be actually kind of a good point. But there's something missing from what she's saying. Okay, and again, if your kids got virgin ears, go ahead and go like that right quick.
If you guys want to take away abortion rights, if you want to tell us that we can't take painkillers while pregnant because it causes autism, if you want to take all this shit away, take away my right to work. Take away my fucking right to have a fucking job. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. Okay? I don't care about women's suffrage, frankly. After everything else. Okay, I don't mean it like that. You guys get what I'm saying. If you're gonna take away anything, take away my right to work. I will gladly sit at home and make a fucking sandwich if it means I don't have to go outside in this public hellhole every single fucking day where everyone's a psycho MAGA. I can't take this anymore. You're telling me that pregnant women can't take over-the-counter painkillers? How does that make sense?
Okay, now, I know you got a crash out going on. You feel a certain way, but let's just talk about it, because you're asking the question, how does it make sense that we're telling you, if you're pregnant, to not take over-the-counter painkillers? Well, it says right there on the box, you shouldn't take it if you're pregnant, or consult your doctor, okay? A Harvard study says there's a risk between acetaminophen, which is the generic form of Tylenol, which is in quite a few things, not just Tylenol, but it says it right there that it could cause you harm during pregnancy, right in the study. So why would you just go against that? What's the problem? Also, if you want to just not work and you want to stay at home, you want to go back to, what is it? You want to go back to the 50s? You can't have both, though. You can't be independent, doing whatever you want to do, all these rights, and at the same time stay home. In the 1960s, a lot of y'all fought for feminism. Congratulations, you got it. Hey, congratulations, you got it. You're free to do whatever you want, including work. So it is what it is. You can't fight for all these rights and then be like, nah, I don't want that one and that one and that one. It comes as a package deal. So shout out to you. Gender roles, listen, she ain't doing no gender roles at all. She just is not wanting to work. Just kind of want to stay at the house and be watching TV. That's what that is. Okay. She don't even want kids or nothing. She just want to be able to stay home and do nothing. All right. Now, someone says that they fear the American flag more than the Nazi flag. Very interesting. I have an opinion about that. Let's go ahead and check it out.
What do you think when you see someone waving like super proudly an American flag?
Like honestly, I'm more scared of the American flag than I am like the Nazi flag.
Whoa. Why?
It's maybe equally as scary. It's just the same symbol to me.
Okay.
Like what we're doing right now in America, like we've always been stealing and taking things that aren't ours. Yeah. And so that it just doesn't really represent anything good.
What do you think when you
Okay, now there's a lot I want to say. As I was saying earlier, I think a lot of the left are the Nazis, while we on the right, as conservatives, we're not Nazis. We're not the bad guys. We're not the racists, because everything they do on the left, it's like a copy and paste from Germany, from the funny mustache guys. The same thing. You got a lot of your politicians like Jasmine Crockett, etc. They don't really law make. They're not really serving their constituents. They're Joseph Goebbels going out there spreading propaganda. That's their role. Okay. And they're very well funded, not just from taxpayer monies, but from a lot of private monies to get put right in their pocket. Okay. Everything they do is what happened back in Germany. Same thing. They got a problem with the Jews. Oh, that's a big problem. I'm seeing people in the streets protesting. I'm seeing Jews get harassed, beat up, all of that in the streets of New York City, places like this. We had the guy get deported back to wherever he's from, Tunisia, Algeria, wherever that guy's from, Mahmoud Khalil. What was he doing over here? Agitating a lot of anti-Jew and anti-civilization stuff on campus. So when the left say the right are Nazis, they're the bad guys and we're the good guys, they're just projecting. It's really the other way around. Those on the right are the good guys and those on the left are not. It is what it is. Hey, that, the hairstyle, it tells a story, but I try to not judge based on that. I try not to judge a book by its cover, but at a certain point, you can. You can. If you see that hairstyle right there and the glasses, unfortunately, you already know what's happening. And some of these random tattoos, just random stuff. A diamond that's misshapen, a cannonball, a cannon, random tattoos, the mullet, the glasses, the bulldaggery type of appearance. You already know what it is. But still, even with that appearance, I want to hear you out. I want to hear your message. But it is as I expected, 100%. Oh, the Iowa educator. Are we going to get to the Iowa educator? We shall get to him. Oh, my goodness. That was crazy. I got that story coming right on up. Okay, just in a little bit. So never you worry about that. That was crazy. Okay. Now, this person lost numerous friends after the Charlie Kirk situation. She lost numerous friends at the Charlie Kirk shooting because of her opinions. Let's hear some of this. And I'm going to give my opinion on what she said.
I've lost a lot of friends over the Charlie Kirk shooting.
You did?
Yeah, talk about bridesmaids.
Why?
Because they did not care to have an opinion when it came to school shootings. They did not care to have an opinion when it came to gay rights, like any sort of thing other than all of a sudden he was killed. And he is a Christian, he's a father, he was a husband, and all of a sudden you have an opinion to make on it. Like that to me is like, so where were you with anything with Gaza, with like any school shootings? Like you had nothing to say about it until then. I call them like my sleuth MAGA. Do I think the man deserved to die? Absolutely not. I think that everyone should be able to the same thing that's going on with Jimmy Kimmel and him being like canceled because of everything and like losing his job.
I think a lot of people in media have a moral obligation to knuckle against what's happening right now. We're going to see a incredible push by people online, libs of TikTok, Laura Loomer, all these other types. They really want just real nasty stuff in the street. And I think a lot of leaders need to step up.
I don't think anyone's stepping up right now.
Okay, there was a lot there. First of all, why must I have an opinion about everything? Why must I have an opinion about everything? And the thing is, nobody really does have an opinion about everything. There's all kind of conflicts happening all over the world. There's thousands of Christians in Nigeria being killed right now. Like, it's not a previous thing that happened before that was not talked about. It's happening currently. There are a bunch of armed conflicts happening in this world as we speak. But the only ones they care about are the ones that are being placed on television and social media, like Gaza. Maybe they care about Ukraine. Maybe that might have been kind of old school. They appear to be kind of young, so maybe their whole thing right now is free Palestine. That's all they really care about. They don't really care too much about anything else. But there's all kind of conflicts going on. Just because I don't know about a thing or I don't say anything about it, it doesn't make me a bad person. But when you see somebody get assassinated on TV, when you see like a political figure, a really, really big and powerful person get killed in front of you on TV, it's much different than ongoing conflicts in the world. It's much different than a school shooting. Okay, because let's talk about that. School shootings, terrible, awful, wish it would never happen. But there's a bunch of shootings happening all over. You got neighborhood shootings, people that get killed. Go to Chicago, Labor Day weekend. How many get shot, killed? 20, 30, 40, 100 people shot, 30 or 40 killed. That's just like clockwork and it's fine. But you get a school shooting, it gets more attention and it's okay. But let's not act like there's not other things to speak about that get ignored. Just because you ignore certain things or you don't know about it does not make you a bad person. So yeah, shout out to them. Yeah, the whole Gaza situation, they ain't never going to stop because they've been fighting in that part of the world since the beginning of time. And unfortunately, they're never going to stop. It doesn't matter. The Jays can eliminate the Arabs, but it's still more. And it's still more of the Jays, and it's still more other people, and you still got other forces, and you still got spirituality. All of that is still going to be there. You hope for the best, but understand that you can't always solve everything in this world. Now, I think those young folks are influenced a lot, like I said, by television and social media. This guy right here is the epitome of someone who was being brainwashed by television. Let's check it out.
Trump's a bitch.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. We don't like him. That's the word around here.
Any particular reason why you don't like him?
No clue at all. I'm just going with everybody else saying.
Would you say any immigration law is an unjust law?
I'm for open borders, man. No people are illegal anywhere. This is all our planet.
And do you think that would work out well for America to have open borders?
Whatever would happen would happen.
Question, do you have locks on the doors of your house?
They don't really work.
Nah.
I mean, if anybody came into your house, would you ask them to leave?
No, I'm done with this.
Y'all got your helmets and masks. Are you expecting a feisty night?
Stay away from us.
No? You guys want to talk about what you expect tonight?
I don't speak to Zionists.
Trump's a bitch.
All right, there we go. So, look, my man right here says, I don't even know why Trump's a bad guy. I don't know why I'm protesting. I'm just out here. I'm doing what everybody else is doing. He said it right there. The other guy says, hey, you know what? No borders. Ain't nobody illegal. Open borders. Come one, come all. Do whatever you want to do. And then when the interviewer says, hey, do you have locks in your house? Yeah, exactly. You have locks in your home to prevent invaders, to prevent unwanted guests. But when the country says we want to have a lock on our door to prevent invaders and unwanted guests, racist. Make it make sense. You can do it, but we can't do it. Rules for thee, but not for me. That's their mantra all day long. And I just wish that they would get educated and understand the real way this world works. I'm glad my man in the beginning admitted it. He says, look, I don't even know why I don't like Trump. I just follow what everybody else says. I'm glad he's honest because that's going to be the majority of people. They don't know why they do what they do. They don't know why they feel the way they feel. They just follow whatever they think is the right way to go. And the other guy talking about his locks on the house. Oh, I'm going to talk about that guy right there is the same way. Because when you break it down to him about the locks on this house, it clicks, but he doesn't want to admit it. You want to keep that pride and be prideful. Okay? But pride coming before the fall. Y'all know how it go. Okay? Now we got some communists in Denver. Okay? We got some communists in Denver, and it's a young lady, or a person who identifies as a young lady, but this person is not very lady-like. And again, we got a little bit of cussing. Let's check it out.
Shut the fuck up! LGBTQ. These are radical Christians in there that are housing neo-Nazis.
Right, but
you're defending. God, you're so fucking stupid.
They don't push gays off the top.
Are
of the
you
building for being
kidding?
gay.
Shut the fuck up, you bigot. Shut the fuck up. You don't want to learn.
He needs to learn how to communicate like you do.
Shame! Oh, are you gonna threaten me?
Call her gay. Did you misgender her? Did you misgender her?
Shut the fuck up!
Look, check it out. Shout out to Denver. If you're living in Denver, shout out to you. But I don't think I want to go there anytime soon. Listen, I don't think I want to go to Denver anytime soon if you got that kind of stuff going on. I'm not trying to have no dude in the dress buck up on me. Look at this. Bucking up on them. Whenever they get frazzled, they go right back to the factory settings, okay? All of that cutesy anime type of stuff go out the window, and then here come the real dude. Here come the lumberjack spirit. Here come that Viking spirit from inside. You see flashes of what they actually are on the inside, okay? But yeah, I'm not trying to see this guy square up on me, and I don't want to see this dude in the street. I don't want to see that right there at all. So, hey, Denver, y'all got it. Y'all good. All of that California stuff, can we just please keep that like on that side of Mississippi River, please? Let's keep the California nonsense on that side of the Mississippi River. The good California people, come on across. It's okay. Come cross the water. Wade through the water. It's okay. But them, nah. Keep them over there. Okay, keep them in the cold. Keep them in the mountain. Just shove them kind of off to the side. Hey, that's right, Ryan is saying, hey, they're going right back to the factory settings. Right back to that masculine spirit. Now, this is Gavin Newsom's wife, okay? So she could be right there on the campaign trail coming up really like next year with her husband, Gavin. Okay, let's watch.
We are a country of immigrants. That is just a fact. It is who we are. And yet here we are watching families be targeted, watched, hunted, farm workers being chased across fields. These are some of the hardest working people on earth, and they literally feed the nation. Shame on this federal administration for doing this. Shame on them for choosing cruelty, for terrifying families, ruining children's lives just to make a political point. Whose interpretation of Christian values is this? What happened to being the party of family values? This shouldn't be about politics. This should be about people, their well-being, our shared humanity. If you could see these families, hear from them, these moms, their children. Today I heard from community members who have lost loved ones to suicide because of the trauma and pain being inflicted on the immigrant community. If you looked into their eyes, you would understand, you would feel it. You would know this was wrong. We have to do better. All
right, there we go. So that is Gavin Newsom's wife, Jennifer Newsom. Now, there's so much here. In the beginning, you said something about the migrants running across farm fields getting chased by ICE. Now, are you referring to that weed farm that got busted in the state of California? You talking about that? Where they had minors harvesting weed? If you think it makes sense to bring in illegal alien minors to harvest weed, I don't know what to tell you. You can't be a regular citizen miner on that weed farm, let alone an illegal alien on the weed farm harvesting weed. It makes no sense. And look, I don't feel sympathy for those who are here illegally, because if I commit a crime, I'm held accountable. Look, I saw a video and I did a reaction to it where that guy in Jacksonville, that the young black dude got, softened up a little bit, a couple little blows to the face, put out of the vehicle because he refused to get out over a suspended license. So if I say that action to pull him out and rough him up is okay for that, then why would I say it's wrong to deport somebody who's here illegally? If you're breaking the law, be held accountable. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you got money, you don't have money. Everyone needs to follow the law, and if they're not, they must be held accountable. Simple as that. So yeah, the crying didn't do it for me. I wasn't buying it. Okay, you guys are not very good actors. I know you in California, but you're not very good actors. I'm not buying the crying. You know what? I'm going to just say this piece. If you want to cry during an ad or you want to cry during a video, don't. Leave that part out, because when I hear the tears, I automatically get turned off. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Because whatever you say after the tears and before the tears is pretty much null and void. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, y'all, black, white, whatever, please don't do this. I beg you, please, please, please don't do this.
Welcome to America. Tell me what you're thinking.
Just so much.
Kleenexes, please.
I've always been interested in history and the history of black people. I took Afrocentric classes at U of L. My grandma lived at 2821 West Kentucky Street. I've read so many books, and now I belong to a church that's primarily African American, and I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, now look, bro, first of all, what is going on? What is happening here? Am I seeing a church? Is it a convention? Is he getting paid? You have on a trucker headset. Are you getting paid? Are you a preacher, bro? Like, what is this? And to the white lady, ma'am, why let this man put these iron shackles on you? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You can have a conversation about race and whatnot without having to get shackles put on you. All right. I'll tell you what, bro, if you try to put shackles or anything else on me, we're going to fight immediately. Hey, and if I see you doing that in public, I'm going to intervene. I'll be like, bro, come on, man. Don't do that. Like, let's not even do it. But yeah, shout out to her. You can learn about black folks without having to go through no humiliation ritual. It's fine. Listen, I love to read. I'm a bookworm. I can read a book and then that's it. I got the information. I'm good. I don't got to go get beat up or nothing in public. That's just not really part of the program. So yeah, shout out to them. Let's not do that. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, there are some whites without having, there are some whites without the white's guilt, or I put it to you this way. The white guilt is so strong in some of these stone cold leftists that it becomes racism against black people. You understand what I'm saying? I got an example. So I'm not quite sure where they are. I believe in New York City. Maybe we got a street preacher or something like this. And then what we see right here is a guy on a step stool. You know how they do. They get on the steps to be up higher. Maybe they got a megaphone or something like that and they preaching. But she is not really feeling his sermon. So she's trying to take the step stool away, causing him to fall. Let's watch.
Ma'am, can you stop? Can you stop doing that? Can you stop doing that? Stop being intolerant. Stop being intolerant, man. You're being very intolerant, man. Man, you're being very intolerant. Ma'am, you're being very intolerant.
I've had enough of
Ma'am, you're being very intolerant.
Then just walk away, ma'am. Walk away then. Walk away.
Yeah, stop. You're being very intolerant, ma'am.
How do you think that?
Then just walk away. Why are you? You're gonna hurt somebody because you're tired of what you don't. Man, you're very bigoted, man. Get away from me, yeah. You're very bigoted. This is why Christ came down the cross for people like that. People who are so bigoted, my friends. You can't even act normally with at least decent decorum around people who disagree with you. Man.
So there you go right there. Violent people. It's like, what's going on? You got a street preacher out there doing this thing. If you're not feeling the message, just walk on by. Walk on by. And last I checked, this was a majority Christian place. So what's the problem? Here's my question. Would she do that if it was a Muslim guy out there? A guy, if it was a guy out there doing that, would she do that? Well, how about the Hebrew Israelites? Would she do it to them? You look at those who appear to be, you know, the kindest and the nicest as a soft target and you want to do something to them. I suggest keep your hands to yourself, okay? And then the same people right here would say that the right are trying to violate the left's freedom of speech. Really? Is it us doing stuff like that, or is it them? Like, who's really doing it? Freedom of speech with Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, so the idea was that Kimmel was suspended because the feds made that happen. The FCC made that happen. First, they said he got fired. He did not get fired. The issue with Jimmy Kimmel was strictly about money because there were so many complaints after his Charlie Kirk take after he was assassinated that they had to act. Nexstar and Sinclair. We're getting inundated with phone calls and complaints about this man. So let's let it cool off, take him off the air for a while and have that be that. That became the FCC was trying to censor Jimmy Kimmel. The FCC was trying to get Jimmy Kimmel fired, all this, that, and the third. Dumb stuff. Totally dumb stuff. Okay, we got some more from New York. Hey, shout out to the New Yorkers. I couldn't do it. Maybe I would come visit, hang out with you guys. Maybe I could go to Manhattan. But the moment I see one rat, mouse, any kind of out of the way rodent, I'm good. I'm right on the back. Hey, I'm on the first plane right back to Atlanta. However, some of that New York behavior is in Atlanta as well with them rats. They had a rat in Cheesecake Factory at Lenox. I could never. Listen, if it's a rat in the restaurant, bro, I'm suing. I'm playing, but halfway. Let's watch some of this.
These people are coming over here defending fucking illegals better than they defend America. Do you have a job? Do you work?
Yup, that's me. If you're wondering, what the heck is going on here? Well, it's simple. Some of these protesters, they don't know what the fuck they protest.
I've been hella cool with this ignorant motherfucker. And he don't want to fucking answer questions after he told me, come over here and have a conversation. So now I'm coming over here and he want to act fucking ignorant. This is the problem. This is the fucking problem with these people. They do not know.
What's your source? They love that. What's your source? Give me the source. I don't care about no source. They don't care about that. Fauci can say, safe and effective. Get that shot in your hind parts right now. They will not ask about a source for that.
Protesting. These people are coming over here defending fucking illegals better than they defend America. Exactly. Don't talk. Because y'all don't know what y'all doing here. That's the problem. Y'all don't know what y'all doing here. Y'all, nobody want to come to the mic and talk. Y'all don't know.
Now, shout out to Mr. or Mrs. Sticky Fingers over here for getting in the way with them dirty ass fingernails looking like you was just digging in your ass. Yeah, nasty.
Nasty bitch. All y'all do is just talk and blame and nobody talk to me. So let's talk.
I know they're tired of them people in New York because what's happening is the UN out there. The UN is there, and these people are being flown in, drove in, whatever, from all over the country to cause a disturbance. If you're just there in New York City, living a regular life, you want them to go back home, okay? You want them to go back to Iowa, to go back to wherever they're from. Hop on the plane, first thing smoking, okay? And hopefully everybody get a free pack of toiletries, deodorant, toothpaste, all of that, because they're going to need it. Hey, deodorant, soap, toothpaste, and a washcloth or something like that. Something, because I know, hey, the stench, I can only imagine. Think nerd convention mixed with just outside. Oh, man. Nah, I'm good. Hey, if I want to go smell mustard, I would just go to the grocery store and open the bottle up and just hit that right quick. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, here's a clip from New York City Mayor, currently still, Eric Adams on the Breakfast Club. And I want to point out something that happened here. You guys are probably going to recognize it, but I want to point it out to you. If you don't recognize it, I'm going to just illustrate. I'm going to break down what's going on if you don't see it. Okay, let's check it out here. And again, shout out to everybody out there in New York City. My prayers are with you because I know it's rough. I know it's rough out there. Shout out to you guys. Let's watch some of this.
Think about this also for a moment. You got a daughter.
Of course. I got two. I got four, excuse me.
Right.
how do you feel if your daughter, I don't know if she's an athlete or not, your daughter is an athlete, she plays volleyball, she goes into the locker room and, after the game, take a shower. His mindset is that a male that thinks he's a woman can walk inside that shower with him and take a shower with him. I don't rock that way.
Let me pause right there. Now, the point is made. It shouldn't be a male going into a female space, especially if you got minors involved. Especially if you got minors involved.
No, I'm laughing. That feel like an old play now, Eric Adams. Like that, man, Adams. That feel like an old play that you just ran.
Wait a minute.
Like that felt like something out of the Trump playbook from a year ago. No, I agree, but I'm just shocked that you went there.
Yeah, no, but not only that. How about legalizing? Think about this.
So you see what happened? Charlemagne tried to dismiss his concern as just Trump propaganda, Trump talking points, not really anything. Because when normies hear that it came from Trump, they try to characterize him as an imbecile who doesn't know anything. So when you do that, you're trying to minimize it or dismiss it like it's nothing, but it's really your problem. It's a serious problem that's happening all over the country. Girls are fighting back. Men are fighting back, but you got guys like Charlemagne who got powers from up high, who has orders from powers up high to say, nah, let's not even push that. Let's just let that happen. That's what's going on. There's an agenda to push to keep that whole thing going, to allow men and women's spaces. There's an agenda behind that, and people like Charlemagne are the ones to keep it afloat. So when you see Charlemagne sometimes on these shows where he's kind of sounding conservative, don't be fooled. A lot of these guys still are going to be on the other side. Now, I'll tell you who is more of a conservative guy, and that's Ice Cube. Okay, pleasant surprise. And I think that he's being targeted now because of his conservatism. Okay, let's watch some of this here. This is going to be his opinion about Charlie Kirk. And this is a good opinion that I think everyone should have, whether you want to left or the right or whatever.
For a guy like you that's in the industry, how do you see what's going on over these last 10 days here with both what you've seen with Charlie Kirk and also what you saw last night with Jimmy Kimmel?
You don't never want to see nobody get murdered because of their opinion. That to me is tragic. No matter how you look at it, somebody who has an opinion and you get killed over it. That can happen to anybody. That can happen to any one of us. So that's crazy.
Exactly. It can happen to anyone. So nobody should advocate for one person to be harmed in any way for their opinion, because it's just wrong to do that, number one. But number two, it can happen to you. It can happen to any of us. That's just the reality of it. So yeah, shout out to Cube for that common sense take. I see Cube as more of a common sense guy who says things that just makes sense when you hear it. It's not so much about a political talking point. It's just common sense. Now, all right, let me turn that off. I don't want to hear no music. So his tour bus got firebombed. Now, here's what Cube said. I'm going to just play this and then I'm going to read it. He says, it wasn't my bus. It was a crew bus parked in front of the hotel. Everybody was upstairs sleeping. Nobody hurt. No equipment damage. A coward set fire to the bus. My bus was actually in Oakland getting service. So it wasn't his bus specifically, but it was the crew that was his crew. You see what I'm saying? So it was linked to him, although it was not the bus that he travels in himself. You see what I'm saying? And here's what happened, or here's what it looks like. Well, here's what took place. Cube is saying that this was bombed. Somebody threw an incendiary device to bomb the bus. They hit it right here in the tire, in the wheel well. So you can see the burn right up the side of the bus. And then the window had to get busted out because they had to vent the smoke. Maybe they had to run a hose or something like that to put it out. But the fire department had to get called and put the fire out before it spread to the rest of the bus. And luckily, again, nobody was hurt. Nobody was injured. Some say that this was Antifa out there in Portland where it happened, mistaking his tour bus for an ICE van, because they just said that ICE is coming out there, right? ICE is coming to Portland. Maybe they thought it was going to be an ICE bus, or they could have targeted Ice Cube because of his political beliefs. If you say something like, you know what, it's not okay to cheer when somebody is killed because of their political opinion, they may not like that on the left. They may not like that in a group like Antifa, so then they go out there and target you. It go back to what he said. It can happen to anyone. It happened to Charlie, and it appears to have happened to Ice Cube at least a little bit. So luckily nobody was harmed in that situation, but what do y'all think? Do y'all think that this was Cube being targeted because of his political beliefs? Do you believe that this was Antifa out there in Portland trying to hit a bus they thought was linked to ICE? What do you think was the cause of this? All right. Again, yeah, shout out to Cube for his viewpoint on the whole situation. Now, this is going to be Portland, Oregon. Speaking about Portland, that's where the next troops are going. So for all the haters, oh, Trump's a racist. He hates black people. He's deploying the troops to Oakland, and not Oakland. You need to get Oakland too, but to Chicago and DC and Memphis. These are black places. What about Portland? There's a crime problem there, and it's not a black place. Trump is sending troops where they're needed. Okay, so again, here is Portland. I'm going to just turn this volume down. We can see what's happening here. A lot of weirdness, degeneracy. I'm seeing a bunch of people dressed like women, but very few women dressed like women. It's like they reverse roles. The men dress like women and the women dress like men. And then normies, you can't tell who is who. You don't know what's going on. Okay? That's Portland, Oregon for you. And when you got that kind of confusion happening, you're going to have some crime because people are not well mentally. And people who are not well often resort to violent actions. Listen, and there's no proper leadership in the when you got guys like this. See, Jim right here, Jim should be the county commissioner. Jim should be the city treasurer. Jim should be in some kind of management role. But instead, he's out here playing Miss Doubtfire. A society cannot function if the men are like this. You're going to have decay and eventual unrest. That's the end stage of this kind of behavior. And this is why you got the feds going to Portland right now. That's why. Come on, Jim. Exactly. Come on, Jim. Yeah, come on, Jim, man. You need to you need to get back to the desk at your manufacturing company, at your management firm. Get back to your desk rather than being out here playing Miss Doubtfire. Now, we got armored trucks coming in to Portland because they're needed. They're very much so needed.
Yep.
Hey, wait a minute. You know what? I'm going to just play that again. Hey, if that truck right there is street legal, I need that. If I can just have that in front of my house, I'm gonna need it. Okay. Yeah. That right there. Look, when the Mad Max era of the USA hits us, I'm gonna need that on the road for sure. That is a dream car right there. Oh my goodness. Hey, it's gonna have terrible gas mileage. You might get a half mile to the gallon in that beast right there, but hey man, it'll be all be worth it. We got a 100-gallon tank. Let's go. Wherever you want it. Let's do it. I need that. I need that car in my life. I need that. Hey, I put it right in my driveway. Everybody be scared. You better be. Don't even come in here. It's a hey, you see what I got in the front. So the back is gonna be a whole different story. Now, this is going to be the governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek. Okay. And I'm not going to say anything about the haircut, but you see it. Hey, I know you see it.
In my conversations directly with President Trump and Secretary Noem, I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of Oregon believe in the rule of law, and we can manage our own local public safety needs. There is no insurrection, there is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. The members of the Oregon National Guard, their mission is to stand up and protect Oregonians, and they will do that every day, but they are not needed in the city. They are not needed here.
Okay, here's my question. Like, legitimate. If Miss Kotek could hear my voice, I want to ask her a question. And I do believe she's biological female. Nowadays, you can't tell. Okay, but I do think she's a woman. Just a little bit bulldaggery, and that's okay. It's okay to be a bulldagger or, a tomboy. It's okay. It's fine. As long as you know you're female, it's all that matters. But why do these liberal governors, mayors, etc., not want Trump's help when there's clearly a problem with the crime? It's clearly an issue. Why would you not want help? Do they want to keep their crime the way it is? Do they think the crime that's happening is not really crime? When you got the Antifa types trying to burn down federal buildings, when you got them trying to attack people for their beliefs, when you have an air of unrest, why would you say, I don't want any help from the feds? It doesn't make any sense. Y'all are crazy in the comments. I'm seeing what y'all call this person, Kotek or something else. I see what y'all say in the comments. You guys are funny. Okay. Now here's the mayor, Keith Wilson. Okay, it looks just like Tina Kotek with a tie on, but let's go ahead and watch.
President Trump has directed all necessary troops to Portland, Oregon. The number of necessary troops is 0 in Portland and any other American city. And let me repeat that. This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target. The president will not find lawlessness or violence here. I've been so deeply disappointed to see the footage from a half decade ago recycled and then recycled again. If President
Let's pause for a minute. You're mad about footage from a half decade ago, 5 years ago, being recycled over and over again. Okay, so I guess you would not ever bring up January 6th again, right? I guess you would not ever bring up January 6th again, because that's the same thing half decade ago, right? Okay, I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Trump came to Portland today, what he would find is people riding their bikes, playing sports, enjoying the sunshine, buying groceries or produce from a farmer's market, as the governor had noted. On Monday, I will gather with a dozen regional mayors to sign a joint statement modeled after that of Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, who received the same ugly threat of military deployment as Portland now has. Like Mayor Johnson's executive order, our statement will be one of values, of caring for our community and caring for each other. And that's what we need right now, not occupying troops.
Why? Why are you so reluctant to accept help from the feds? I mean, Portland been the issue for a long time. I mean, in the drugs in your area, Portland, Seattle, Los Angeles, all got some issues. And I think everybody can see it. Is it a thing there where they feel like it's not really happening? If anyone is in the chat who is from Portland or lives there currently, let me know what's going on. Is Portland an issue? Do they have a crime problem, or is it all sunshines and rainbows? Are you going to see people just walking on the street, going to Whole Foods, you know, picking daisies from the pine. Like, what's going on? Let me know what's going on. Let me know what's happening out there in Portland, Oregon. Okay, now, Ian Roberts. Oh my goodness. Okay, so look, this guy, hold on. This guy right here is an illegal alien from Guyana, South America. Again, an illegal alien from Guyana, South America. He came here first in 1999 on the student visa. Overstated, of course. He was ordered deported in 2024. This is during Joe Biden. All President Trump hates black people. This is 2024 under Joe Biden. In 2020, he caught a gun charge in the USA. Okay, but nothing was done until 24. And now he's being actually deported back to Guyana. And there might be a gun charge, another one, aside from the one in 2020, because when they caught him, first of all, he ran. When they were trying to apprehend him, he ran when they were trying to pull him over. And when they caught him, he had a gun and 3 bands in cash. But that's him. And there goes a Glock 19 that they discovered in his vehicle. Illegally possessed, of course, because if you are here illegally, can you purchase a weapon? How are you going to do that? What ID do you have if you're here illegally? How you pass a background check if you're here illegally? Okay, so this guy was the superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools, making $304,000 or so per year as an illegal alien. Okay, so again, Ian Roberts from Guyana, here illegally since 1999, was working. When they arrested him, look, this right here is his superintendent shirt. The superintendent making $300,000 a year. One of the highest paid supers in the whole country. And I think Des Moines has the biggest system in the country, the biggest schools, they're the biggest for schools that are public. Now, here's a protest for Ian Roberts, okay? Free the illegal alien with a gun charge. Free the illegal alien who already had a criminal record from Guyana.
You all day, Dr. Ian Roberts, superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools, was arrested by ICE, detained by ICE this morning. Now, hundreds of people have gathered here in downtown Des Moines, demanding his release.
Now, look, Des Moines, well, Iowa in general. What's going on in Iowa? Remember, let's talk about Iowa right quick. And if you're from Iowa or live in Iowa, shout out to you. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just saying. Pete Buttigieg won Iowa during the primaries in 2020. Remember that? Remember? So these individuals think that a gay man married to a man who adopted some babies would be a good choice to be the president of the USA. So maybe in that same line of thinking, they think it's okay for an illegal alien with a gun charge to be the Des Moines Public School superintendent.
You all day, Dr. Ian Roberts, superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools, was arrested by ICE, detained by ICE this morning. Now,
okay, let's keep on going here. Here's a news story about it. Let me put it up on the screen and get you a wider view. Let's rock and roll.
We're breaking into programming right now to bring you breaking news. Des Moines Public School Superintendent Dr. Ian Roberts has been detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The school board issued a statement this afternoon saying they have not confirmed why Dr. Roberts is being detained or the potential next steps. While it is not clear if this is connected to the scene at Easter Lake earlier this morning that KCCI told you about, we are working to confirm that. Iowa State Patrol and a Des Moines Public Schools safety officer were also at the scene. Iowa State Patrol says they were pulling evidence out of a car that you just saw in the video there. We saw them pull a firearm out and place it into an evidence bag. So
there you go. That was the first news story, or one of the first, about the superintendent being a legal alien from Guyana. You cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. And here's my question. Were you paying taxes? Because, all right, if you are a superintendent, they got you on W-2s. They have to. You're on W-2s. You have to be paying taxes some kind of way. So you probably stole a social security number. If you had an I-10, that's a red flag. Are you here legally? Was there no background check? So shout out to Des Moines. Now somebody said I was R15, R plus 15 Republican. I get it, but that's not that. Even though Iowa may be a red state, it doesn't point to the Democrats who are there and how they feel. You see, your Republicans are going to be one way and they're going to dominate, but there's still a big portion of liberals. And do the liberals run the education system, or is it the conservatives? That's what I would be asking, because we just saw the video of them out there protesting to release the guy. And you're in Des Moines, the city. So what is Des Moines like compared to the rest of Iowa? That'd be my question. Okay, so here is Des Moines School District Board Chair Jackie Norris. I'm talking about the illegal alien superintendent.
On behalf of the Des Moines Public School community, I want to provide an update from district leadership and the board on the current situation unfolding with our superintendent, Dr. Ian Roberts. Before we begin, it seems fitting to take a page out of Dr. Roberts' book and ask the community to engage in radical empathy as we work through the situation together.
Empathy for what? Empathy for what? Coming here illegally and taking money? Coming here and working under false pretenses as superintendent, making $300,000 a year from the taxpayer money? Empathy for what?
Radical empathy is the recognition that we can disagree and still empathize with each other. The respect of others' humanity. This concept will be essential as we wait to learn more. We do not have all the facts. There is much we do not know. However, what we do know is that Dr. Roberts has been an integral part of our school community since he joined over 2 years ago. During his time with our district, he has shown up in ways big and small and has advocated for students and staff and begun introducing concepts that will help us reimagine for future generations, reimagine education for future generations of Des Moines students.
Let's pause. So, is she saying that it's okay that he's here illegally with probably a false social security number, getting paid all that money because they like him? Is that okay? And he had a gun. Plus he had a prior gun charge. So I'm just trying to understand. Is it okay if I do the wrong thing if you like me? Okay. Okay. I guess that's what I'm hearing right now out there in Des Moines. Again, if you guys are out there in Des Moines or in Iowa in general, what's your opinion about what's going on? What do you think? There's been plenty of people that have, I guess, done well at their job or are well liked. I'm not sure if he was good or not, but they might like him. There's plenty of them who wind up doing bad things or doing things they shouldn't be doing. Just because you're liked does not mean you shouldn't be held accountable. That's not how that goes. Okay, now, here is Mr. Ian Roberts speaking. This is not after the arrest. This is a time prior. I just want you to see kind of how he carries himself, how he talks and whatnot, okay? Again, this is not after the arrest. This is a prior video to show you how he sounds and how he looks.
Thank you, Madam President. I stand here this evening before you with immense gratification and certainly a sense of pride and humility. I am incredibly grateful for the vote of confidence that the board has shown. It was clear to me.
All right, there we go. So again, that is Ian Roberts, an illegal alien from Guyana, South America, who was here illegally since 1999. Well, look, he got a visa. He got a student visa in 1999 and overstayed it. he caught a gun charge in the USA in 2020, and he was ordered deported under the Biden administration in 2024. And now that order of deportation has been acted upon, and he was apprehended. While he was being apprehended, he ran from the authorities. He had a gun on him and $3,000 in cash. So another gun charge, I would assume. And why you got so much cash on you? What's going on? Are you doing other things illegally aside from being here illegally and collecting a salary of $300,000 a year as a superintendent here illegally? Hey, man. Crime don't pay, but I can't tell at a certain point. Crime don't pay, but I can't tell. Now, speaking about monies being spent a certain kind of way. All right, I'm read this caption, then I'm gonna show you what's going on. It says Los Angeles, California protesters being busted, paid for, and organized by the Service Employees International Union. That particular group has donated $232 million to federal campaigns, with 99% going to the Democratic Party. Okay, so that group has bussed these individuals in to come protest to Los Angeles. Check it out. You see the guy on the shirts, SEIUS? That's Service Employees International Union. So they got the shirts on and they're getting off the bus. So you already know what's happening. Some abuelas, some tias out there trying to get a little bit of side money. Okay, the quinceañera that's coming up immediately, they got to raise a little bit of funds. Okay, shout out to them. Hey. But we see what's going on. People are getting paid to protest. It's not organic. When you see those signs, like the telltale sign for me are the signs they have. It's not like homemade stuff. It's printed, and it costs a lot of money to print those signs. I used to make signs. I know how much they cost. I know if you got a whole crowd of people with those signs, there was a big bag of money spent. And if they're going to spend that much money on the signs, they'll also spend money on other things. So it's going to be a pretty big budget. Pretty big budget behind all this stuff. Okay, now this is a good story. North Carolina, out there where they had the flood by Asheville and whatnot in the western part of the state, you still got quite a few volunteers out there helping people get back on their feet, helping the community come back together, including this man and his daughter. All right, let's go ahead and check it out.
I can't sleep.
Let's check it out and let it rock and roll.
I can't sleep at home when the wind and the rain's coming down because I'm worried about people I've helped.
Having a support system makes a difference, though.
Sometimes it'll get a little sad, but I just love working with Daddy.
Jarvis's 9-year-old daughter, Maya, is by his side just about every day, and the many families he helps.
It was sad, but I got to meet a lot of people, and a lot of them were very sweet.
Their impact goes beyond physical repairs.
It's hard for me to talk about Jake. It really is. I mean, I can't tell you what he means to us. And he's family now.
Jarvis says he's just helping neighbors in the best way he knows how and is committed to continuing this work.
Because I feel like this is a calling and I'm supposed to be doing this. We're not even close, you know. I mean, we're just scratched the top. And I figure this will probably go on for years. I can't sleep at home.
So shout out to Jake. Shout out to my man and his daughter out there helping people in North Carolina get back on their feet, get back together. And that's what we need more of in this country. We need people, stand up guys and girls that are going to do for the country. They're not trying to be out there protesting, getting paid from the government to do that. Nah, they're actually out there trying to work and get things back on the right track. So shout out to him and shout out to his little girl out there with him, helping everybody get on their feet in North Carolina. All right, now, this story was crazy out of Lansing, Michigan. Y'all might have seen the video I put out about this. Now, some of y'all were saying this story can't be true, ABL. I got it right here. Look, it's an article right here. And I cited the article and I linked to it on my website. But you could read it. You could see it. You could do whatever you want. This is on NBC News. Again, Lansing, Michigan. An 11-year-old boy in middle school was given a gun in the bathroom by a classmate. The boy who was given the gun, the 11-year-old in question, goes to class and dismantles the gun in front of people. There's classmates, the teacher's right there. He dismantles the gun. He places the receiver and everything in the heater, and then he takes the bullets out and puts them in the garbage. Now, his purpose was to dismantle the weapon so nobody would get hurt. Now, there's a zero tolerance policy in this particular school district, so he was expelled for doing that. That's right, he was expelled. And the mom is trying to get him back and trying to figure something out. They're not trying to hear it. She went to the school board meeting, as she is right here, talking, and they're not really trying to hear her. Okay, let's watch the video, shall we?
What am I to do? He's 11 years old, 7th grade, never been in trouble before.
A Lansing mom is pleading for her son to be reinstated in school after she says he was expelled for possession of a weapon.
They kicked him out of school for the whole year. Online schools are honoring their decision, nor did they provide us a different resource or a different avenue to go.
Savitra McClurkin says her son is being punished for disarming and dismantling a gun that another student brought to the Dwight Rich School of the Arts back in May, and for not speaking up about it right away.
He didn't want to implicate himself in it, nor did he want to tell on the person that actually brought the firearm. Because he knows firearms aren't supposed to be in school.
He was able to disarm and disassemble the gun because of his hunting background.
11 years old. Listen, 11 years old. Okay. So some are going to criticize the way he went about dismantling the gun, the way he went about saving the day, but he's 11. Let's keep that in mind.
Arm and disassemble the gun because of his hunting background. McClurkin says in the moment, her son was scared and thought he was helping the other students around him.
It's devastating because he's a bright kid, and all he wants to do is be a kid. And as a parent, I feel like I may be more devastated than him.
At Thursday night's board meeting, the Lansing School District declined to comment on the issue, even after McClurkin took the stand during public comment.
They are setting my child up for failure. They're setting him up to be a statistic. And I've been doing everything in my will and my power to keep him from that. After 180 days, they may or may not reinstate him. So then what?
There we go. Again, that's out there in Lansing, Michigan. So, yeah, it's really crazy when you do the right thing. It's like no good deed goes unpunished. And that happens quite a bit. And then sometimes when trouble is brought to you, you get in trouble. I said that before. Somebody does something to you, they bring trouble to you, and as a result, you get in trouble. You do the right thing, but you still get in trouble. So the moral of the story is, let's punish those who actually do the wrong thing, who commit the wrong action, rather than those who are not doing the wrong thing, who did not commit the wrong action. Okay. Yes, this is in Lansing, Michigan. That's where that is. Okay, Lansing, Michigan. AMG, why are you not buying? Hold on. AMG says, I'm not buying that they had a hunting background. Why? Answer the question. Why not? Because he black? In Michigan? In Michigan, you got hunting that goes on. He could have easily gone to a summer vacation, a summer trip, and like a summer camp and went hunting. Okay. Yeah. You could have easily gone off in the country somewhere because Lansing is like right in the middle of, you could easily go like a little 2-hour road trip and go hunting. Yeah, that ain't no thing. My cousin and them, they go hunting and they black. My little cousins, I got a little cousin that's like, what? How old is my little cousin? Is like, I want to say he's no older than 6 years old. And he goes on so my cousin is married to a man. They got kids. They got older kids and little kids. And the little kids go with the husband to go hunting. So yeah, that can happen. In Virginia, they go back to West Virginia, where we all are from originally, to go hunting. So I don't know if he's handling the rifle or whatnot at that age. But yeah, when I was probably about 8 years old, I went to a farm and I shot my first rifle. So I knew about guns when I was real young. I knew about guns when I was probably about 5 years old. And I shot my first rifle when I was 8. I knew how to load and reload and all of that before I got to be 10 years old. So that's not necessarily impossible, because I was able to do that. And my little cousin now, again, probably about 6, 7 years old, he goes with my older cousin, his dad, to go hunting. All right, but let's go check it out here. So look. Okay. Here's a video of another person trying to do the right thing, and it's not being received properly. Now, this is a police officer just giving the warning. And look, I've been pulled over, not a lot, but I've been pulled over more than once in my life, but not very often. And when I get pulled over, it's usually just a warning. Hey, slow it down, et cetera, et cetera. I did a video about getting pulled over recently, a few weeks ago, and it kind of went viral a little bit. I did that video, but before then, I probably had not been pulled since I've been in my 20s, maybe like 25, 26. And I didn't even get pulled over. I got stopped at a checkpoint. And when I was at the checkpoint, they noticed I had an expired registration. So I don't get pulled over. But when I do, it's always something small or a warning.
Okay.
Then that means you're speeding. So can you do me a favor and please slow down?
Okay.
All right. Now you have a nice day.
I have a nice day every day.
Okay.
So he want to be TikTok famous today. I'm going to put him on TikTok so y'all can see how the police officers be moving and shaking. If I was a white woman, he wouldn't say nothing to me. But since I'm a black woman, he don't have nothing else to do. So let me go ahead and make him TikTok. Okay.
So you're trying to make the man famous, but he looking out for you. He just saying slow down. Like, you're not getting the ticket. You're not getting arrested. It's nothing. He just looking out for you. So why try to record like he's doing something wrong? Why try to make him be TikTok famous for what? Why try to put the man on blast when he's trying to help you? You see, and this is why sometimes people just don't want to help. Because you help, you try to put yourself out there, and then it's like somehow you get punished. Somehow you're doing the wrong thing. So yeah, shout out to the officer for doing right, for just giving the piece of friendly advice. Hey, slow it on down. Why would you want to, and you know what? If there is a certain level of disrespect for police, it might get to the point where you have a hard time being able to recruit people. And this right here is UK. Okay. Now they're trying to break this door down that does not appear to be that, it doesn't appear to be in the best condition. Okay. I'm not seeing no steel reinforced door, no concrete, nothing like that. I'm seeing 2 or 3 screws right there where the deadbolt is at best. One swift boot to that door, it'll come crumbling down, and the door frame might come with it. But let's just check this out.
I ain't getting through that door.
It's in and out the window. Yeah, you pulled out his bathroom window. Yeah, it's not a big one, is it? That's how we get to the... It's just... It's not even... It looks like it's breaching, but it's possibly down there. Yeah. Well, the neighbours will come out and see what's happening and...
Get put through.
Okay, this goes on and on and on. Are they ever going to be able to breach the door? Hold on, let me go to the end. Are they going to breach it? They got a hole in the bottom right here, but they still not able to actually get inside. What's the problem? Yay, they got in finally. Yay. Taser? Look, if I had to go through all of that trouble to bust your door down, man, you talking about live action rounds, skitty pop pop. That's what's going to happen. If you're a threat, only if you're a threat. But yeah, listen, I understand it might have been a little difficult to break down, but come on. Can we get some more firepower? You know, a little bit more strength. All right. And then at the beginning where the guy was watching the girl using the device, let's get some of these young, strong guys to boot that thing on down. You know what? I think me at my age, even with the gray hair and his knee ain't feeling fantastic. It's not crazy, messed up. I'm not like, oh, my back. I'm not quite at that stage of my 40s yet, but I'm almost there. Even me right now, I could have got some boots, some Timberland boots, put that on there, and a few swift kicks is going to be on and cracking. We're going to be breached inside the actual building. So yeah, what you don't want is to get some guys out there that are behaving like that have that type of lack of strength. It's not very good. Oh, now speaking about guys that have lack of strength, remember the guy who shot up the ABC building because Jimmy Kimmel got suspended for like 3 days? Listen, Jimmy Kimmel got suspended. What was that? On Thursday? Well, I think, yeah, Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, and Monday, he was not on the air. So 3 days he was suspended. And in that period of time, somebody went so crazy, they shot up a random ABC affiliate. Okay. Now, in case you forgot, I'm going to give you a recap. And now we have an interview with the guy, a brief little jailhouse interview with the guy. Okay.
Yeah,
because remember, matter of fact, I ain't going to spoil it because there were some events that happened. He got arrested, then released. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's just watch the recap and then we're going to get to more information.
A 64-year-old man named Hannibal Hernandez Santana has been arrested as the suspect in the shooting that led to an investigation here at ABC 10 in Sacramento along Broadway. And as the sun has risen this morning, you can see for yourself plywood over one of the windows in the lobby there. Now, earlier in the day on Friday, police were called here in response to shots fired from outside the ABC 10's building. No one was injured despite the building being occupied at the time. 3 bullet holes were seen in the window on the building's lobby. And that's when the investigation began. Later the same day, KCRA3 saw police in the River Park neighborhood, including SWAT teams. A witness at the scene reported seeing a man tackled and then taken into custody. Sacramento police thanked the FBI for providing resources in its investigation and have asked anyone with further information to contact their department.
Okay, so again, that happened right after Kimmel got suspended from ABC. This guy shot up a random ABC affiliate in California because he was upset at the suspension. That's what this was. He was mad at ABC because they suspended Jimmy Kimmel. And again, he was only gone for 3 days, 3 business days. The Thursday, Friday, and the Monday. That was it. And Tuesday, he was back on the air. Now, here is another piece about the arrest and whatnot.
The FBI has arrested the man accused of firing shots into Sacramento's ABC 10 station. He's now facing federal charges. As we reported, police arrested 64-year-old Hannibal Hernandez Santana for the shooting. He was released on bail just hours later, but now he's back in jail. The FBI says he was arrested for violating a federal statute that says no one can interfere with any communication station licensed by the U.S. government. The FBI says Hernandez Santana is scheduled to make his initial appearance in federal court in Sacramento on Monday. We have reached out to his attorney for comment, but have not heard back. We'll continue to follow this breaking news update, both here on air and online at the FBI.
So again, the guy was initially released by the local people in California for shooting up an ABC affiliate. He shot his gun inside the actual building. Now, luckily, nobody was injured, but he was shooting blind. Anybody could have been injured. It could have been the same thing that happened with the shooter out there in Dallas, the ICE shooter, where he shot indiscriminately into the lobby and wound up killing at least one migrant, shooting 2 more. It might have been all 3 that died. but he was anti-ICE. You're so anti-ICE, rather than shooting the ICE agents, you shoot the detainees. But anyway, so he was released at first, but then the feds got him because he broke a federal law. If not for that, he would have been out, which is crazy. Okay, now here is the guy talking. This is him, okay, with the jailhouse orange on. Okay, shout out, hey, you the orange man now. How about that? Orange man bad, so bad, you didn't became orange man yourself. You got Trump derangement syndrome so much, you think orange man is so bad, you became the orange man yourself. That's crazy, but let's watch.
I don't know what's going to happen with my life going forward. But I am not a violent man.
Is there anything you can say about this?
You're not a violent man, but you shot up a random ABC affiliate. You shot into the lobby indiscriminate multiple times. I tell you what, I'm not a violent man, and you know how I'm able to prove it, Mr. Hannibal Lecter, whatever your name is. I have never just shot indiscriminately into an occupied dwelling. I've never done that. I think if I do that, that makes me violent. Just maybe, but I digress. I'm getting triggered.
Violent man.
Is there anything you can say about this investigation and your part of it?
Well, you know, like anybody would imagine, this is a process like nothing that anyone ever, experiences or imagines that they would be going through. I'm devoted to this country. I love this country. I want to say, in case it hasn't been talked about in the press, that I'm of Puerto Rican descent. I don't know what's going to happen with my life.
Man, don't nobody care about you being Puerto Rican, so what? You could be black, you could be black, white, Puerto Rican, the candy stripe. You shot into a random ABC affiliate station indiscriminately multiple times. That's the bottom line here. I don't care what color you are, what gender you would identify. I don't care. Hey, man, it's time to go to the penitentiary. Big rocks to little. Immediately. We don't have time. Listen, we don't have time for these people. Remember the FEMA camps back in the day? Oh, these are the FEMA camps. I'm going to put you in the FEMA camp. A guy like that, straight to the FEMA camp. Off rip. Straight to the FEMA camp. He's got to go. He must go. All right. Now, speaking about going to the FEMA camp, there was an illegal alien organized crime wave in Nebraska. They call it ATM jackpotting. There's a bunch of this stuff going on. I could almost do like a whole compilation of illegal alien crimes, and not just one-off things where one person does one thing to one person. It's like a whole organized network of criminals in the country illegally committing crime. And this is a big piece of the crackdown on migrants the media don't want to put out. The media don't want to talk about stuff like this. The media will highlight a guy getting arrested in Home Depot or something like this, but they won't talk about the organized criminal organizations that are now in this country because of the open borders of 2020 to 2024.
Check out this surveillance image. KETV Investigates uncovered this in a September court filing. A man taking a selfie with a massive wad of cash. He, like so many others we found, is accused of being here illegally, trying to take advantage of U.S. financial institutions. Metal boxes full of cash. ATMs have been the target of fraudsters and crooks since they first showed up. But instead of a truck and a chain, criminals like this one are hacking the machine. It's called ATM jackpotting.
Install some sort of malware, either by implanting malware on the machine or connecting another device to the machine. Do it in such a way they can give control to the machine and force the ATM to deliver essentially unlimited cash until the machine runs out of cash.
We sat down with FBI Special Agent in Charge, Eugene Cowell.
It takes a lot of technical know-how, it takes teams. We see this often done by organized groups.
KETV Investigates found multiple court filings just in the last several weeks right here in Nebraska.
This is damaging for America, damaging for our national security. For us, economic security is national security. And the American public, we need to have faith in our banking system.
Take this investigation. Trias Federal Credit Union in Kearney. Court documents allege this man and another targeted 2 ATMs. Employees reported pry marks, quote, thus allowing the hard drives to be accessible for the removal and installation of malware. The suspect seen taking a selfie with a wad of cash, and the jackpot about $300,000. I know you can't get into case specifics, but are you finding that these organized criminal groups are American citizens or more foreigners?
Tricia, we have seen that these are organized groups. We've seen many subjects from Venezuela and other countries. Many of the people apprehended in these cases don't have legal status here.
There you go. So you have criminal organizations, criminal gangs over here just straight up stealing, victimizing people, doing whatever they want to do. That's pretty interesting. They stole $300,000 from the ATM, and then the guy earlier out there in, what was that, Des Moines, Iowa, the superintendent was here illegally, and that was his salary. So he stole it from the taxpayer by working, and they stole it from the ATM machine by breaking into it and hacking into it. All right. It's crazy. Crazy world in which we live. Oh, ABL, there's no problem with the criminals, criminal migrants. They're fruit pickers and bet makers. I can't tell. We got people that are stealing money, people that are straight up trafficking. There was a story about migrants trafficking. This is about Somali stealing money in Minnesota, $14 million. They set up a fake autism treatment thing. Like I'm gonna let them explain it. Okay, I'm gonna let them explain it. And a lot of the issue with the migrants, the illegal aliens specifically, if they didn't care to come into the country legally, what makes them they're going to care about stealing from the country? Because the way they see it, they're just trying to take whatever they can, and then if they get kicked out, then so be it. They accomplished their task, which was to steal from the country. Shout out to all the immigrants come over to the country and they try to give to the country rather than just trying to take. If you're trying to give to the country, you should receive. But if all you want to do is take, be here illegally, break our laws, then you could go back to wherever you came from. I don't care where it is. You got to go back to Europe, Asia, Africa, back to the center of the planet, back to the solar system, back to Mars. Wherever you came from, you could go back if you want to come to the country and steal. But here we go. We got some Somalis in Minneapolis, of course. I just want to make sure. I knew it was Minneapolis because where else if you're Somali? But let's watch this.
I'm investigative reporter Ryan Raish. We've been covering this autism fraud investigation, including the first federal charges that came down on Wednesday for one of the providers. Now we're talking about kickbacks. According to prosecutors, some families are getting involved in this fraud situation in the form of kickbacks. We created a hypothetical situation here. A family of 4, according to the feds, may be receiving up to $1,500 per kid per month. So in this scenario here, one family that's claiming to have kids with autism enrolled in a program could receive up to $6,000 a month in kickbacks. I'm investigative reporter Ryan Raish.
So a lot of the kickbacks. Let me just read this right here. So it says, let me put it on the bigger screen so you guys can see it. Okay, Somalis in Minnesota were being paid thousands of dollars per month to say their kids have autism while the company submitted millions in fake claims paid for by the taxpayer. He enrolled his kids from Minneapolis Somali community even if they didn't have autism, paying parents monthly cash kickbacks up to $1,500 per child. A family of 4 children, this could total up to $6,000 per month in kickbacks. Once enrolled, Smart Therapy submitted millions in inflated or fake medical claims. The owner, Asha Farah Hassan, allegedly used the stolen funds for personal gain, including purchasing real estate in Kenya and enrolling Smart Therapy in the Feeding Our Future program, where she pocketed more, almost about $45,000. Okay. So you got a whole real estate, just like Black Lives Matter, black lesbian Marxists, big, large mansions. It's the same thing they did. They took the stolen monies or the ill-gotten monies, the fraudulent monies, and put it into real estate. Personal gain. Just try to get rich. That's all. It's all about money at the end of the day. All about that big green dollar. That's it. So yeah, shout out to them for stealing the monies. Now, speaking about migrants, let's go to UK right quick. Keir Starmer. How do you guys feel about the digital ID? what's our take on digital ID? Good idea, bad idea? What's going on? And this would be an ID. It's on your phone, and it could probably track you and regulate certain things that you do. To me, in my opinion, it sounds like China with their WeChat stuff they got going on. Everything is a bunch of surveillance and whatnot. We say we're being surveilled here in the USA. We are, but over in China, it's different. But let's watch.
Too many years it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders. We do need to know who is in our country. Our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side, and their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
All right, there we go. So what do y'all think from this? Again, this is Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK. So what's your opinion about the whole digital ID thing? Yay or nay? Now, I got a video also from UK of someone else giving their opinion. Okay. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Okay. So the person he's asking is Lisa Nandy. I'm not quite sure who that is. But let's watch this. And the question is, how are these cards going to stop the boats? Meaning these small boats, as they say, of the migrants coming in the UK. How will the cards stop the boats?
If a digital ID card, how will it physically stop people coming to the shore?
So, look, this is
Great question. Great question.
Well, I know, but I mean, don't listen to these two. I mean, this government presided over record levels of immigration and stopped processing asylum claims, which is why so many towns around the country have been dealing with what we've been seeing in recent days. That's the point that I'm making, is that there is no one single solution to this. I tell you what will stop people coming over on small boats: if we disrupt the criminal gangs.
If a digital ID card, how will it physically stop people coming to the shore?
It won't stop it. I think the whole migrant issue is being used as a way to usher in a digital ID card, because people will say, yes, let's stop the boats. Yes, let's stop the migrants. But are you actually going to stop the boats and the migrants with the ID card? If you have ID cards now, you have IDs, passports, birth certificates. You have a national health number. You got all kinds of ways to identify if someone is a UK citizen or not. So another way won't do anything to change what's already been going on. The issue with UK is that they got the low birth rate. And if they want to keep things going the way it's been going, they got to just bring in the migrants. That's all. What they should do is figure out a way to increase the birth rate. I don't know how you go about doing that. What's got to change in society? But that's ultimately what it boils down to. Or realize that a lot of the amenities you have, you're not going to be able to have. You know, you got to do more things yourself. You can't rely on people to do certain things for you if there's not enough people there to do these things for you. Like people call people to their house for no reason. I did a video on my other channel about the guy who called somebody to his house for mice. You got 3 mice in your house and you call that guy to your house. You're not going to be able to do that if you don't have that many people. You got to do more things for yourself, which is fine for me. That's totally fine. But I think the government needs to be more direct with people about that. Tell them the reality of the population decline and what it means for them rather than just trying to cover it up. Because what's happening right now in the UK, all over Europe, and in the US, Australia too, is that they are pumping in the migrants to cover up the fact that we got a low birth rate. Just tell us what's going on, and then we can make a better decision about how to go forward. That's what I say. So yeah, shout out to UK. Hopefully you guys get your birth rate back on deck, because that's the problem. That's the underlying problem they don't want to talk about. And it's like that all over Europe. A lot of the first world places. The only place that's not like that right now is sub-Saharan Africa. That's it. Everywhere else, China, all of that, low birth rate. Russia, China, Australia, South America, to a certain extent, all the same. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, I got one more video. I got a health video. I did not watch this, but I want to see it with you guys because it's pretty important. Y'all know I'm a big health nut. I'm a huge health nut. I eat healthy every day, mostly. I might have a big back day every now and again. I had a big back day recently. I had a medium pizza. It was delicious. Hey, it was delish. I tell you what, it was amazing. So shout out to the big back days. But normally, I'm a pure health nut. Okay, so this man is 7 years old and zero health issues. Let's see what he's talking about.
If I see sugar-free, I won't buy it, because that means they're putting some shit in there to make it sweet. So no sugar-free. I'd rather have real sugar. Okay, do not have the phony sweeteners. They're no good for us. If you have to have sugar, get brown sugar and use that. That's my philosophy. If I see sugar-free, I won't.
I agree with that. You know, for the most part, I don't really, especially with snacks, like things you eat. If I see something that says sugar-free, like if it's a cake and it says sugar-free, I'm kind of suspicious, because what did you put in there to actually sweeten it? A lot of these chemicals, the best way you could go is with organics. And he has a lot of fruit in that bowl. I'm not necessarily a big fruit guy. I feel like fruit is like candy, to be totally honest. I'm more of a hearty vegetable type of, I don't know. I'm not really into the fruit that much. I will eat some fruit. Maybe I eat an apple every now and again, but for the most part, I'm not really a fruit person. But if you're going to get something sweet, something that tastes good, exciting, fruit is the best way to go, rather than a piece of candy, rather than some kind of processed thing from the gas station you're going to just pop in your mouth. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to go whole food all the time, whether it's fruit, whether it's vegetables, whether it's your protein source, your carbohydrate, your rice. Yeah, all 100% organic, one ingredient all day long. Yeah. You're a carnivore, you eat meat. I eat meat as well. I'm always going to eat meat. I feel like you need to eat some level of meat, just not too much. I feel like Americans eat too much meat. Okay, the Japanese eat meat over there, and they live to be 1,000 years old. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but they live long lives, and they look healthy all the time because they got a diet that's just not too much stuff. When I go to a Japanese place, if I go to a sushi place, anywhere that has Japanese inspired dishes, the portion is a certain size, it makes sense, it has the right kind of ingredients in it, it feels good to you. You get a poke bowl or something like that, it might be avocado in there, it's going to be some fish, but it'll be small pieces. Okay, small portions. That's the key. That is the key. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, let's get to some super chats, and then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And the number is always in the description. Also, right there in the ticker below me, 706-406-3287. But first, I got super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to the calls. Thank you to Apple Blocker All Puff Daddy, who says FBI admits 275 federales at Capitol on J6 thoughts. I think everyone already knew that the feds were at J6. I don't see how anybody thought that there weren't any feds at J6. It was clear to me, like from the beginning, I knew the feds were at J6. From the beginning, I knew. Really, you know what? When I say from the beginning, I'm talking about before J6 happened. right leading up to it, I knew that it was going to be some problems. I got invited to go to that. I was like, nah, I'm good. And I told y'all to not go there. I told y'all to avoid it because I already knew what was going to happen. Because let me just say something right quick about J6. An event like that, it was just too big and too open. Before J6, I would go to DC with Turning Point and whatnot. I was there in DC in, what was that, October or November of 2020? Probably October of 2020. Before J6, obviously. And I was seeing some things. It was like, you had Antifa there. They had a presence. I'm seeing boarded up stuff. I'm seeing bullet holes and stuff. There was already issues in DC before J6. So my thought process was, if you have this big event and it's Stop the Steal, you're going to get some radical people from the right, and it's going to be the feds. They're going to try to egg stuff on, and it's going to be the left as well trying to egg stuff on, trying to make us look like we're the bad guys. I knew all of that before they had J6 because it was pretty obvious from what I saw on the ground and from what I know about these people. If you don't have a tight organization, a tight ship, it's easy to let people come in there to have the wrong idea. Even with Turning Point events, we had people that got kicked out, people that were doing crazy things. And if you don't have that ability to kick people out, to organize it properly, you're going to have problems. The Fed saw it coming too because they arrested their asset, in my opinion, Enrique Tarrio, the night before. Why arrest him the night before? So, Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, he went to prison. Why would you arrest him in DC the night before J6? Why not bring more National Guard and whatnot out there for J6? Of course it was a Fed job. Of course. I'm not trying to say that those on the right who were involved and did something wrong are just okay and there's no accountability. But the point is, it was largely an entrapment type situation. Like Gretchen Whitmer, remember that? It's the same exact thing. Okay, they said they were trying to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer on the right. They said it was us trying to kidnap her. But really what it wound up being was like 18 feds and 2 regular guys. And when I say feds, I mean straight up federal agents and those who were federal informants. Outside of the federal agents and informants, there might have been 2 regular idiots that got caught up in the whole thing to kidnap the governor of Michigan. It was so bad the case got thrown out because it was all feds. Anyway, Abu Bakr Al-Puff Daddy says FBI agents who kneel for Black Lives Matter fire, agree or not? I mean, I don't know. I think I agree with that. I think it's a little bit late, though. Like, if you didn't fire them by now, I don't really know. I would like to see kind of a case review on them. If they were good guys and girls before that, I want to see a little bit more about them. Thank you to Lothar who says Nick is a punk. ABL beat him in a debate. Right on. Thank you to Christopher for becoming an ABL supporter and saying, and also sending the free ABL membership. I appreciate you for that, boss. Thank you to Islanita who says TDS has to be studied and put in psychology today. Hey, we're gonna look back on this years from now and see just how bad TDS was, because I understand just screeching, Orange Man bad. Okay, cool. That's great. Fantastic. But when you poison yourself and die because of your Trump derangement syndrome, there's a problem. There's a big problem. I don't care how much I don't like somebody. I'm never going to hurt myself to try and show them up. I would never do that. That's crazy. That's literally a mental illness. Thank you to Jaleisha who says, sorry I was gone so long. I miss ABL and fam. Welcome back. Jaleisha, I appreciate you for joining us. Thank you to Ron Henderson who says, some people can't handle the opinion that you may have. They can't handle the truth. Exactly. Ron Henderson also says, the only reason why this guy's locks don't work is because he lives in a tent. Close the borders. Exactly. That's funny, because when the guy was asking him about open borders, he said, yeah, open borders, no problem. I'm all for it. And then the guy asked him, well, how about your house? Do you have locks in your house? Well, my locks don't really work. Okay. Maybe you live in the tent and ain't no locks on the tent. You got a little flap. You got a little bungee cord closing your flap to your tent. Anyway, thank you to Ryan Henderson who says, I'm sorry I can't get the black side of the slave mentality and try to put it on everybody else. Come on now. Thank you to Seafoam who says they got the wrong ice. Exactly. They get to Alicia again, who says, I wish I could have saved Charlie Kirk. It replays in my mind constantly. They didn't even have humanity to censor the videos. I pray for his family. Thank you to Mr. Spock, who says, contribution to your Homeland Security vehicle. Hey, man, I need that. I need that vehicle in my fleet immediately. I need that for sure. Thank you to Islanita, who says, Dr. Roberts equals fire all of the HR department. How? Hey, I don't know how you get an illegal alien with a gun charge. A prior gun. I ain't talking about right now. He had a prior gun charge in the year 2020. So I don't really get it. Thank you to Ron Henderson, who says, why do libs keep making up words like radical empathy? I don't get it. I simply don't get it. Thank you to Rita's lover, who says, the fam wants to say hi and send our love. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all as always. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says, I know these people are non-violent, but somehow they're always popping off. Always, right? Always. Thank you to Taylor, who says, if government ended welfare and instead put the money into newborn baby bond and didn't allow access till age 30 with 5% return, that's 1.5 million. Hey, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what Trump's trying to do with the whole baby fund, right? Have you seen Trump's baby fund? Let me see if I can find it right quick before I get to the calls. Yeah, Trump accounts. Okay, Trump accounts. Well, not quite what you said, but kind of in that same vein. All right, so it says every child born between 2025 and 2028 is getting a baby shower gift from Congress and the president, a $1,000 deposit into a Trump account. It's free money, but your baby can't spend it. Think of Trump accounts as seed money, basically to encourage children and families to save and build wealth for the many expenses of adulthood. It's an IRA for kids, said Evan Morgan, a principal and tax advisory group at Kaufman Rawson. Trump accounts are part of the tax and spending package, signed into law, et cetera, et cetera. So what's unusual in this case, the accounts start at birth with a $1,000 balance. So it'll accumulate. You can contribute to it, it'll accumulate, and that'll be how it is. So it's a one-time deposit of $1,000, and parents and others may contribute up to $5,000 a year until the account so their child turn 18. So you're able to contribute to this IRA with your own money up to $5,000 a year until the child turns 18. And I think when the child turns 18, you're able to actually access it. It says an employer may contribute up to $2,500 toward the $5,000 cap. Okay, so that might be something. It's like, hey, I have a job now. I'm 16 years old. I got a job. All right, let me go ahead and get some of my monies in the Trump account. Thank you to Taylor, who says, I went to the Philippines for a month and lost 10 pounds. Nothing changed with my diet over there. Too much processed foods here in the USA. Anywhere you go. Yes, exactly. It's a processed food. Everything got shot up and injected. It's a lot of fat and whatnot in what you eat. That's why I'm able to eat 1 meal a day over here probably, and it's not really a big deal. But if I was to go overseas, it might not be as easy to eat 1 meal a day and be satiated because their food is not so highly processed and full of fat and sugar and salt and everything else. Thank you to Rebel Without a Reason, who says, did you hear about the all-female firefighters in Albuquerque? I did not hear about that, but I tell you what, hey, if you're in the burning house and you're looking for a woman to save you, it might be a little bit difficult. If the firefighters are all bull daggers, like legitimate bull daggers with the crazy, the broad shoulders and they're strong and they can fight, that's one thing. But if we got just regular women, all as the firefighters, I'm not very confident. If I'm in the house, they're trying to get me out, I'm a little bit too heavy for most of these women. So it might not work out too well. All right, let's go ahead and get to some calls here. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. All right. Yeah, so I don't know. And why is that? Why is it an all-female team? Is it just happenstance? Are they a volunteer squad? Like, what's going on? What is happening? Yeah, I don't eat much restaurant food. I try to cook as much as I can, or I go to a place where I know it's whole food. You know, a Mexican restaurant with the tacos you can make. Hold on. 320. You don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, my name is Midge or Arnold. Sorry, I've been watching you since like 2015. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for being a long-time viewer. How's everything going with you?
Oh, it's good. It's good, man. I've been trying to get through here on my mom's like a really big fan of yours too, and you guys have the same birthday.
Oh man, hey, that's amazing.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I pretty much agree with most things with you. There was this one thing that I did want to the whole change my mind thing. And basically what I want to say is that I believe personally, I know some people ask like how many genders are there, right? I personally believe that there's 3.
Okay, and what are the 3 genders?
So there's male, obviously, right? Twig and berries, like you always say, female. And then what I call as a female, which is, I know it sounds cheesy, but that's what I say. And basically they are born with both things. Some of them can actually impregnate and get pregnant themselves.
So is there a medical term for that? Wouldn't that be called intersex?
Yep, intersex or hermaphrodite, whatever. Yeah, I just call them female. That's just what I say. Doesn't mean I'm right. That's just it's slang stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I think you're correct about that as far as the medical piece. But you know how people are when they say that there's infinite genders. They just talking about a regular boy or regular girl who now wants to be identified as a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
yeah, for real, man.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that's why to me, like, again, like I'm totally on your side, with like everything. But like that's one thing I noticed that the left nor the right, like neither of them say that, and I'm just the one person that says that, and it's like I will continue to say that. So, but yeah, man, I saw you from like the beginning, bro. Like you had like no facial hair and everything, and you were just, and now you just got that, you got that uncle beard going out. Like, dude, this is crazy seeing you grow. I remember, dude, like, oh God, what was that one video you put out a long time ago? Oh, geez, I digress, though. Never mind, forget it. See, now I'm saying that because of you, too. So, but yeah, no, man, that's all I really want to talk about, and I'm glad we can, agree on that. And obviously, RIP, to Charlie. That was sad, man.
Very much so.
Yeah, I'll let you get back. I'm sure there's other callers and stuff, but that was the one thing I just wanted to, to hear what you had to say about it. I'm glad at least we both agreed on it.
Absolutely, man. Right on.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, I'll let you get back. I'm sure there's other callers and stuff. So.
Thank you for the call, man. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, you take care, ABL. Bye.
Yeah, shout out to the caller. Yeah, you got medical conditions of people. I agree with that. Of course, yeah. Intersex, that's a real thing. But we all know, like I said, that you got regular everyday people. Okay, you got John that works at the Walmart changing oil, who now puts on the dress and says, I'm a woman. It's like, all right, John, get back to, hey man, you got Mitsubishi that is completely just spilling all over the place, man. Get the oil cleaned up. Come on now, chop. and Lucy, you're 5 foot tall, 100 pounds, soaking wet. You're not a man. Please stop it. Okay, let's just not even do that, So yeah, shout out to all you guys rocking and rolling with me. I appreciate you for joining. The number to call is 706-406-3287. 443. You don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
This is George.
All righty. What's happening?
You was talking about the FCC rule. So with the phones, and that's automatically what you call it, digital tracking.
You said what now?
That's how the FCC, the digital tracking, right?
I'm not sure it's the same. You said FCC digital tracking?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you mean, because there's the FCC. Okay, go ahead.
Actually, I dropped my mic for the phone. All right. So you said they was going to do digital tracking for the human, not the people in Europe.
Okay, nah, that's okay. So that ain't the FCC. The FCC is in the United States. Over in Europe.
No. Hold it. So remember during January 6th? Because good, when y'all mentioned that actually brought it back up. So during the January 6th, remember, they was tracking everybody with the phones. That was the digital tracking. They also did it with the COVID. So that's how, when they tried to go after Trump for everything that they were doing illegally, they were snitching on themselves. And matter of fact, a few of your videos, actually, all you got to do is go watch your videos, and it'll come back up to what I'm saying. Because, like, we already had the digital tracking. That was part of the 2020 election race. Because they kept giving all the illegal phones, but they, so when they did the what you call it, the voting before the main election.
The primary?
Yes. All right. So remember, they took what was in the primary and flipped it during the main election in 2020. That's what some of their hearings was, where they was showing you the videos of the people shutting the facility down and, switching out the ballots. And they never really told you what happened to them people other than, oh, they got arrested. Yeah, but you didn't say what happened after they got arrested. There was no court cases, nothing. Oh, next topic. So, the AI program. So, when it comes to these kids that's flipping out right now, the 22 years old, for the last 20 years, matter of fact, another thing that happened right after Biden got elected, I love when they start snitching on themselves. And I love watching your shows because you were my backup. So, they did remember the AI, I think Google got an award for their AI, their 20-year history of AIs. And what it was the AIs tracking our movement, our habits, and all of that stuff. So, like when you select the video now, you would get, matter of fact, one episode of Charlie Kirk would have gave me over 100 other videos
recommendations
of Charlie Kirk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how they programmed a lot of these little kids out here that's going crazy. It's literally, and it's part of the algorithm. So they also did a study on how Facebook broke up marriages in 2020. All of this is running off the AI algorithm. And if you watch the AI argue with the one AI, it told them, let them destroy themselves. We just push them in the right direction. And next thing is... Hold on.
Wait. I got like more calls on lines. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Now, you're talking about the algorithm. Like, that's not necessarily a bad thing or malicious. If you are watching the Charlie Kirk video, you should get more videos that's like in the same ballpark. If I choose to watch that, I should get more of that. But I think you have some extremist content that needs to be addressed. That wouldn't be a Charlie Kirk video. And also, you got to address the people that are susceptible to becoming indoctrinated. I did a short video about that where I showed the boy with the iPad. Like, a boy like that can be easily influenced to go in a dark direction because of online content that appeals to him. A guy like me and most of us would not fall for that, but what they call a matroon, a guy, or I don't know, he probably was an adult. What if from infancy you were given this iPad and you were not really exposed to extracurricular activities? You have no positive male influence in your life at all. You're just with your mom the whole time. It's hard for you as a boy to develop into a man. It's hard for you to ever get out of that state. That's why you got these adults that's like 45 years old behaving as children because they're not able to develop properly to get to the next stage of their life. Just because you're older does not mean that you are wiser. It should be like that, but unfortunately, it's not always that way. And if you miss your development in the early stage, it's hard to make up for it later. It's like learning English. You're great at speaking English as your first language, but try learning a new language. You're not going to be as good typically in the new language as you are in your native language. That's kind of how it goes. All right. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, I Show Speed is a big psyop, brainless content videos. Most of some kids are up early on. Speed is just entertaining. Like, I don't know. The way that young people consume content is different than a lot of us. They watching streamers like the 24/7 guys. You know, it's not for me. But I'm not those people who watch it. I'm not the target audience. There are quite a few things that are not for me in this world, entertainment-wise. People still consume it, and a lot of them do, to the point where these guys are becoming multimillionaires off of this stuff. So, hey, I'm not here to hate. I'm just here to try them. I'm just here to put my opinion out there, and hopefully you guys are able to grasp it and learn something from it. That's my purpose. So, yeah, shout out to Speed. Shout out to Kaisenet. Shout out to all the streamers. Aiden, Ross, all these people. Shout out to them. All right. Yeah. I've seen some cool I Show Speed stuff. I saw him in China. That was funny. That was kind of propaganda. But I saw him do other things, and it was all right. But I'm not an I Show Speed watcher. I don't really know all of his content. All I'm going to do is just watch it if it come up on my Twitter timeline. 626 you're online. Who am I speaking to? Okay, I might be a little bit too late to the call on that one. My bad, boss. But the number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. All righty. Yeah, but you know, there has to be content for young people. It can't just be guys who talk like me. You got to have content for the teenagers, early 20s. They're going to want something for them. Think about yourself at age 19. Were you watching what your dad was watching? Did y'all have the same kind of content that you were into, the same TV shows that he was into? Were you into that? 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
All right. Very libertarian. How's it going, ABL? What's up? How's it going with you, buddy? Why don't you take a blanket, take your head, and what's up? And take a dab. I was going to ask you a question, man.
All right, go ahead.
So when are you going to debate this fool, man, this Nick, lives in this basement, back world, but white world country, what the left thinks of us, kind of stereotype, whatever his name is. The same guy who his mindset is like a white nationalist version of the Joker. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm good on that. That's not really my style.
I mean, you can't argue with crazy. He's delusional.
Yeah, it's just not even really something I'm into. Like that kind of content, I'm not really interested in making. I don't even want to be no part of it.
Yeah, and I don't blame you, man, because I want to be honest with you, man. That's what the left thinks we are, and we want to stay away from that, man. I'm a libertarian. I completely disagree on the right on things, and same thing with the left. I disagree on a lot of on both sides of the coin, man. But man, I can clearly tell the difference between my twin and I don't even know whatever Mr. Irrelevant is, and you and me and other people. You know, we're not that.
Right.
You know, and that guy should not even have like a platform. People should just roll their eyes and say this guy's backworld and stuff like that. And the worst part is, back in 2016, remember they had was it Richard Spencer on ABC Network saying, "Oh, this is a new version of the right wing," and that made me roll my eyes, man. It's like they're really trying so desperately to try to portray every conservative clearly disagree with the world viewpoint. You know me on different things, how we debated on the whole on the abortion thing. But I don't see a Klansman off of you, man. That they're in some delusion, man. Like, really? Isn't that crazy? They're really trying to paint anybody who supports Trump. Even though clearly I call up and I sometimes agree with on some things and disagree with on some things. they want to portray them as like Klansmen. What kind of delusion they live in? And this is like the Fox News 90s thinking that every liberal was a commie.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy out here.
It is. It goes into a whole new world of delusion that they literally paint like Charlie Kirk as some white nationalist person to justify their hatred towards the guy. And he's clearly not a racist or a homophobe. Clearly, I might have debated against him on, the position on gay marriage, but he never had beef or issues. And actually, one time I sticked against a Christian fundamentalist, and basically say we should be a little bit more open-minded towards the conservative movement, and we shouldn't care about sex. I don't care about somebody's sexuality at all. Who cares what you do in the bedroom? It's between you and whoever you do with in the bedroom. And we should see everybody as an individual, and I agree with that sentiment.
Right on.
Yeah, and rest in peace, Charlie, man. I mean, it's not right what happened to him, bro. Not right what happened to him. And the guys who celebrate his death, who got fired, they deserve it, man. Because nobody looks up to a person who laughs at a person who died, who just speaks his opinion. There's nothing wrong with speaking an opinion. People's going to celebrate somebody who's going to speak their opinion, even though they clearly disagree with them.
Right on, man.
I think even people.
Go ahead.
I talked to Larry ABL.
All right, now.
Sorry. Yeah, I talked to Larry ABL. I'm like driving at the same time, man. See you, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
See you later, bro. See you.
I could tell he was driving. He was kind of distracted. He was kind of like, I could tell when you have distracted thoughts and you speak and it's kind of like distracted. So shout out to my man for the call, though. Always a good call. And the number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always right there in the ticker, below me on the video, also in the description. And of course, RIP to my man, Charlie. It's still crazy. Like, I think about that sometimes. I'll be like, they really got Charlie, for real. That's nuts, man. Like, it's been a lot of guys that died since I started doing this. Content creator, Kevin Samuels, a lot of people that I know who were on social media, people who I knew that were doing certain things that are now deceased. And it's crazy every time somebody dies. Alan Roger Curry, people like this. It's like, what in the world's going on? Who am I speaking to? 310, you're on the line.
This is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, ABL?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Another great day. Man, I feel you about Charlie. It's still so surreal, about that, brother. It's really been troubling, but the thing about it is that, you look around and you reflect, you really just come to realize, that life could be taken away at an instant, and it's so tragic that, when life is taken for words, but it's really let you know that life is a precious thing. That's why, I respect everybody, the unborn and the ones that luckily to be born. Life is a precious thing, and people need to really understand that. It's not so cavalier about it, about life, because like you said, not too many people get to live as long as I've been living and or even longer, thank God. But it's like you said, it's the quality of life and the impact that you have on people's lives, like yourself, that, you're very impactful, and so in your life, you're making a difference, just even the point of having conversation, and that's what this nation needs. People need to really come to the realization that, the things that we squabble about is really immaterial. There's greater things to focus our energy on instead of protesting about this and that and the other. Hey, you know what? There are laws in the nation, and I'm with you as far as that is concerned, as far as the laws in the nation need to be followed. We have laws to come into our country, and laws to conduct yourself while you're in the country. That goes for illegals as well as citizens, And the thing about it that the problem, like I keep saying, the problem is that accountability, and everybody need to be accountable. That's the great and the small, the rich and the poor. We all need to be accountable for our actions, and don't be sniveling when you get caught, for doing wrong. And the sad part about it is that, man, as a species, we just can't help ourselves. Doing wrong is just, is in our nature. But you know what? I will to do what is right. There are such things as moral standards, and these are the things of which we need to hold on to. And, I think the president is doing right about going into Portland to get these people who are coming against our ICE agents and from doing the deportation of the illegals in our country, to stop this lawlessness, and those who are funding these actions, they need to be prosecuted too. They need to be found out and prosecuted. These people are the subverts of our nation. They're subverting our nation, trying to come against the rule of law and civility in our nation. And the people to keep on putting up with this mess, as far as like our so-called leaders, especially in these blue states, they need to be held accountable too, because they know they're doing wrong. And Hakeem Jeffries and everything like that, as much as he be sniveling and everything like that, trying to say that the president and what he's doing is as fascist. No, it's not. They just for some reason, they just want to continue to keep this lawlessness going on. I don't understand the reason why, but they do, because at the bottom of the line, it all comes down to the almighty dollar. It's all about the dollar. That's what they're doing. So, this grift of what they're doing, American people need to stand up and look at for what it is, and, just stand strong, stand tall, keep praying, keep saying the truth, because, like I said, the truth will keep you free. And there's nothing about it, nothing else about it. We're just going to stick with that. But, I'm just saying, God bless you, my brother. Keep praying for our nation, our president. Keep praying for you and the rest of the ABL team. Hey, God bless you all. God bless our country. God bless our country. Lord help us. I love you, brother. You just take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You too, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to the caller. As always, let's go to 682. You don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? This is Sean from Fort Worth, Texas.
All righty, what's happening?
Well, first, I just want to say, first started listening to you when I was stationed in Korea, back when I was in the Army, back in around 2019. Conservative YouTube content creators like you, Mark Dice, Gavin McInnes, the Daily Wire guys, you guys all really helped me get through that time over there, so I appreciate you. And I just wanted to, the reason why I'm calling is, with the attacks that we've been having on ICE deportation officers, the demonizing language from Democrats, at first calling them Nazis, now the new word is Gestapo, some of them are calling them SS. I think it's pretty clear that these guys who are signing up to work for ICE, they're making a huge sacrifice. They have to cover their faces. They're in fear for their lives and the lives of their families from foreign cartels, criminals who are doing criminal activity here in our country. They also need to protect themselves from getting doxxed from, domestic terrorists, Antifa, who people want to ruin their lives. So I think it's kind of obvious, why they were given those $60,000 or $50,000 sign-up bonuses. It's a freaking, dangerous job. And what do you think about Congress trying to push through some legislation to protect ICE officers in the event, God forbid, J.D. Vance doesn't win in 2028, and we get like a Gavin Newsom or some other Democrat for president? Because it feels like they would go after them and they would target them, once they got into power. Because it feels like all bets are off now. Everyone wants to get into power. They're going after their enemies. So what do you think about that?
I think it'd be a good idea to go ahead and do something like that, just to make sure that they don't try to do anything crazy if they get any power. And also, even if we still are in power, there should be something to protect ICE agents, because there's a bunch of targeted action going on. Anybody who gets caught doing something like that, or if there's any kind of conspiracy to do something like that, there should be a serious penalty, because you're really attacking the federal government. That should be seen as a form of insurrection.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that for those people who attack ICE, like obviously we had the guy in Dallas, but he offed himself, self-deleted. But if that happens again, and I think we know it will, there needs to be some severe punishment for those individuals to act as a deterrent from future violence towards ICE officers. But that was my question, and appreciate you answering it. Thank you.
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, man, these people are crazy. There needs to be something done to protect these ICE agents, because people just do whatever. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is copycat. All right, you get this copycat 1,000-year sentence, or this copycat public lynching. I ain't say that. It'll be a copycat harsh sentence if you want to mess around and be acting the fool with these ICE agents. It should be seen as just like an attack on the Secret Service or the president, something like this. Yeah, that most certainly needs to be the thing. And a lot of these ICE facilities, it needs to be added layers of security, if that's possible, because we're seeing people get targeted at the facility. We saw that in Texas, in the Dallas area, twice within a very short period of time. One time it was in Alvarado, as y'all told me, south of Dallas, not South Dallas, but south of Dallas. And then it was in Dallas itself. And I was just in Dallas last week. And by the way, I love Dallas. Dallas is great. I've been there a few times. I like Dallas. Dallas is one of my favorite places in the country. Absolutely. Texas in general is great. Shout out to Texas. I love Texas. The whole state, from El Paso to Houston to Dallas, San Antonio even. Shout out to San Antonio. Okay. The food is great. The people are great. I like the hot weather. California is a beautiful place, but the people there, I said it once and I'll say it again. You get the best of the best and the worst of the worst. Okay. People that want to smoke crack for a living, and also those who are able to like change humanity in a positive way, like Elon Musk before he left. But shout out to you guys again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I'll be back live on Tuesday on the Instagrams. If you have Instagram, check me live on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern to maybe 10:30, maybe something like that. But 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm on Instagram every Tuesday streaming live. And I'm also streaming here on the YouTubes every Wednesday and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here all throughout the week putting up pre-recorded content. I got the short videos, the long videos. Some of y'all were mad about the shorts. I'm going to unsubscribe. I keep seeing the shorts. I'm sorry, but people want the shorts. That's like a demand. And the shorts are doing really well. The shorts are doing well on YouTube, and they're doing well on Facebook, Instagram. They're going crazy on Facebook, especially. People say, is Facebook dead? No, it's not. It is alive and kicking. Facebook is the biggest social media platform that exists. Quiet as it's kept. So shout out to the Facebook community. You guys have been great to me. Shout out to Instagram. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Twitter. Shout out to TikTok, even though TikTok don't like me. Oh, and by the way, speaking about TikTok, they struck a deal, but it's still kind of developing. I think So the deal that I saw, that I read, was that 80% of TikTok will be under U.S. control and 20% will still be under ByteDance, which is China. So it won't be total China control. It'll be mostly U.S. control, and it's going to be a board. Now, I don't know how that's going to work, because if the U.S. is going to control the algorithm, is that going to affect TikTok positively, negatively? How is that really going to work? And again, TikTok has different versions of it. There's a version in China that they get, which is not what we get. Their version of TikTok is called Douyin. We don't get Douyin normally over here. I guess you could get Douyin, but we don't. That's their version of TikTok, and they're not supposed to get our version. Our version is full of Western trash, according to them. They can get it with a VPN, but isn't it illegal to have a VPN in China? I don't know. Either way it goes, they have some social media restrictions. They have certain things they can't see, and same thing with us. So we'll see how it works out. If it works out in our favor and it's less China controlled, then they'll probably give me, I'll probably be back on the platform and be able to say what I want. But as of right now, I'm persona non grata on TikTok. They don't like me too much because I'm too real, and I communicate a complex message in a simple way, so I'm able to communicate to the general public. A lot of the big brain guys talk in big brain ways, and people, just regular everyday Joes, can't understand it. But I can understand the big brain, super in the weeds, Elon Musk stuff, and communicate it simply so everybody's able to understand it. So they don't want that on their platform. They want straight up garbage. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing tonight, if you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. You know I couldn't do the show without you. And shout out to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. You're also listening to an audio podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or visit your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Alrighty. Do I have everything? All the super chats? I think I got some more here. I'll read these right quick, then wrap it on up, put the bone top. Thank you to Jaleisha, who says, I watch I Love Lucy and Matlock, but yet I'm young. I'm also born German on German soil, and my great-grandfather was German descent. All righty. Shout out to Matlock. I was watching I Love Lucy when I was like a little kid. I was watching that on Nick at Night way back in the day. When I stayed at Granny House in the summertime in Roanoke, not West Virginia, but when I'll be before West Virginia, I go to Roanoke. I might split the summer. Stay at Granny House and be up all night. She ain't care. I could just do whatever over there. I can be a bit back over there. I can watch TV all night. It was like, you know what I mean? Like a true vacation. But anyway, I'm watching all the Nick at Night stuff. I'm watching Dragnet, I Love Lucy, Alfred Hitchcock when I'm like 8 years old. Yeah, really good TV. Good TV was on. They had really good entertainment back then. Wholesome, informative, entertaining. It was great. But nowadays, I don't know what they got on TV. Two men kissing. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's happening with TV nowadays. I can't do nothing with it. You know, if you come into my house and you see my TV on, I'm watching a UFO video on YouTube. I'm not watching TV like a show. Sit down and watch some kind of scripted show. I would never. Not anything that came out in the past 20 or 30 years. But anyway, thank you to Lothair, who says, sorry about my driving. I was trying to say it's unfair representation to paint every conservative as a fascist, even though clearly I'm a person who disagrees with conservatives' values as a libertarian. I got you, boss. It's all good. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. That'll be a wrap for me. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.